Hello everyone, how are you doing? It's Shelly Kitten, back again on your YouTube radio. I don't think it's a radio, but let's just call it that regardless. Right, I am here again for the Critter Pod. Me and the three critters. Introduce yourselves, critters and demon.
Which one's the demon?
That would be
okay.
that would be Dirt.
DD the demon.
I'm the DDD DDGG.
Yeah, because
all day long. He's G'ing all day long. That DDD.
Yeah, he's a Devi.
What do you do, DDD?
What do I do? What do you?
What do you do, DDD?
I did dominate.
Yeah.
Much better.
What about our resident trash panda?
That's a great question. How am I doing today? I'm doing pretty good.
Why must you plague our lives with
I was a
sound
little bit
effects?
late today. I was very late. Because it's fun. Anyways, but yeah, I'm just a little bit late. But I made it on time.
That's good.
Yeah, and with just enough bandwidth to join us.
Yeah.
We're trying to stretch out that bandwidth. Come on,
Yeah, we're
master
just-
that
just-
bandwidth.
Just a little bit of band right there.
And guess what?
Touch.
Is it really that bad?
I mean, right now it's fine.
No, it's fine. You're fine.
Like right now,
got
you're
moving around.
normal.
There's
Well, on my screen you're frozen.
there's such a delay between me and you guys. Oh,
Where are you? On the moon?
Houston to Ripstud. This is ground control.
Well, so far nobody's really introduced
Man,
themselves. I've taken 10
Somewhere
points
in
off
the
of this
dark.
interview already.
All right, so let's
Nice
since our kitten has tried to introduce us, I am Dirty Devi Gaming. I am
no.
the residential gamer, residential game designer, and just an all-out dirty devilish guy. To my right is our guest.
Oh, see, okay, I guess you're right because you're to my left here.
Yeah.
I'm Sonny Strait. I'm a comic book artist and voice actor and director, mostly known for anime and ElfQuest in comics. But Dragon Ball Z in anime, One Piece. I was the original Toonami Tom for Cartoon Network. Literally been doing this for 20 years. 22 years now. Gosh. So I've been in a lot of things.
I'm gonna be honest right now. I know we're introducing ourselves, but I'm trying not to be like such a fanboy right now.
But you're being really cool so far, DD.
Like,
I honestly, I haven't seen you sweat or anything like that, or no nervous.
like
comments.
like I always meet famous. When I meet famous people, I just try not to be that. Oh my God, it's such and such. It's Sonny Strait. Like right now, I want to like everything inside is like saying, relax, calm down. He's just like you, a normal person. He voice acts. He does too. He did Toonami. He was Tom for God's sake.
That's not
He's a
true at all.
god.
That's not true at all. I'm a god amongst men, and you should recognize that. I meet a lot of famous people when I go on the road, and I'm the same way. It's like you got to push all that down. Like, no brain farts, please. Just push all the nervousness down. Just be normal. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, was ex-girlfriend of mine. She moved to New York to get into theater up there, and she was freaking out. And by then, I'd already done a lot of stuff with Funimation and been around the world. And she said, "Well, those people are professionals," and I'm like, "So are you." You know, it's like they're just people. They're just people doing a job, you know, and they just happen to be lucky enough to get attention for that job. And she said once she got up there and started working, she says, "You're right. I was kicking ass up here." Just
Nice.
people. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
What about you, Rip? What do you do?
Firstly, am I coming in clearly?
You're coming in.
I can hear you clearly.
All right, that's better. That's good.
Yeah.
I think it's because I was trying to download something that was going on. So,
Yeah.
I
was trying to play this video game on the side while we were talking, and all of a sudden it just slowed down. I don't know what happened.
I'm playing a video game.
I was just playing a video game, and I was uploading this thing here, and I put in 3 flash drives and tried to open them all at the same time. I don't even know if that's possible.
I had 23 tabs open on my Google Drive.
Don't joke about opening tabs.
Don't
joke about that. My roommate, every time he opens a tab, like I'm gonna kid you not. You want to know how many tabs he has open currently, probably right now on his phone?
I bet 20.
More.
Like when the tabs are so small, you can't even read what they are.
They're
has just like the
90.
first letter of each thing.
Oh,
he has over 90 tabs open probably right now.
Why?
I have no idea.
How could you even, if you got that many tabs open, how do you even know which is which at that point?
I don't know.
Do you guys use Gmail?
He does.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He uses Yahoo.
Have you seen the new Gmail logo for the tabs?
Yes.
I hate it. It's just, I don't recognize it. I'm like, which one's Gmail?
What is this?
It looks like an M or something, you know?
It's like, is this Gmail? Or it's like,
The M is the mail shouldn't be. It should be G, you know?
It should be G, people. This is supposed to be Gmail.
Right. And it also looks like another tab. I can't remember which one, but I see it and I was like, that's the same colors. Stop it.
I know what you're talking about, and I can't remember it.
I do open a lot of tabs, though. I'll have like 15 tabs open a lot of times.
Like, that's understandable. Like having a lot of tabs, but having over 90 tabs open. I told him, dude, you have a problem. You need it's like, what is this tab? What is this one? It's like, oh, this is a something from Yahoo, and it's about a story. And it's like, does it really need to be open? You could just go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
What if he forgets?
A friend of mine is an administrator at the Hare Krishna temple, and he came over to visit me one time, and he was on my computer, and within 5 minutes, the guy had like 50 things open up. I was like, I'd never seen anybody do that before, because usually I just had like 1 or 2, right? And I was like, oh, I guess if you get a lot of business, you know. But how do you do it so quickly? And it's just like, this one's open, this open, this open, this open.
Like this one.
Is there going to be a topic we're discussing, or we're interviewing, or what are we doing on this? I'm going to interview Shelly.
Oh, why? I'm presenting.
Yes.
Plot twist. This is all towards Shelly.
Plot twist.
We're just going to ask Shelly personal questions.
Okay.
Miss Shelly.
So Shelly,
Miss
why
Shelly,
are you so
first of all, where did you get
adorable
those
and
tears,
adorable?
Shelly?
One question at a time.
So many
All right.
questions.
All right. Everybody. 1, 2, 3. Shelly.
Really?
No, do you know the
Do you know
from the
God,
center of the
and
sky
have you
leading
always
towards heaven
had
and
a
earth?
fan
and
behind
the
your back?
Do you
like
also-
that?
the
wind?
Is
Is that why you have a cold? Because the fan was blowing the whole time?
Are your ears- are those
Is
really
that
your
a necklace
ears?
around your neck, or is that just the
PC
volume
with a
control
2080
of
graphics
what
card?
your
Why
microphone
are you
right
so
now?
adorable?
Also,
Shelly?
why
Is
are
that
you really
poster
adorable?
Do you
too?
really like that anime behind you, or are you just showing off to your friends? You think
Well, to answer your first question, Chopper is my son. You leave him alone.
Immediately answers the Chopper question.
Yes.
Chopper's my favorite character on One Piece.
He's my small son. People leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
Okay, I have to say this about One Piece though. When is it gonna end? Like I've been like I know most people are like, don't say it's like we're trying to enjoy. I'm sorry, it's gone on.
Fair question. When I started this, there was no gray here when I started doing it at all.
Let's put
And
it
I will
this way.
probably, by the time I'm done, all of this will be gray.
Yeah.
And then you'll find out that One Piece is just like either one piece of coin or it's just that whole friendship talk.
You know
I
what?
mean-
I think it is because he's built it up so much that it's impossible to deliver anything worthwhile. So he's going to have to do it until he dies.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
never reveal what the One Piece is.
I remember that somebody actually once typed in, when One Piece does end, if they reveal in the last episode that the thing was friendship or his heart, I'm eating the fuck out.
Exactly. And that might have been his intention. You know, he thought, oh, I'll do like 100 issues and then it'll end with friendship or something, you know. And now it's like,
Yeah.
oh, shit. I got to
Yeah.
have something really good to end this on or just never quit.
Yeah.
Or
Apparently,
just say
he's,
that-
He's had the ending written for years. He just keeps building more stories to get to it.
He's just like, it doesn't get to this point. Why can't I just get it to this point? Simple, because you just keep writing more and more stuff. Stop writing stuff.
Well, here's the
It's a
thing, though.
curse.
If you're a writer and a comic book artist,
Mhm.
you don't want to stop, right?
No.
Oh yeah.
But the problem is you usually run out of steam for a particular idea.
Yeah.
But One Piece is it's like Dragon Ball Z, and it's this big soap opera with many characters that you can go on different stories. As a writer and artist, you're going to want to tell stories in that venue. He can tell all the kind of stories he feels like telling. You know, like this week I want to tell a heart-wrenching story. This week I just want to be pure comedy or whatever, or horror. He can tell any story in this. So it's like, why quit? You know, it gives him the perfect venue. And in Japan, it's all determined by Shonen Jump anyway votes.
Yeah.
Who gets to stay in. And it stays in like #1 all the time. So why quit?
Yeah. I mean, they even have
I certainly
votings on who their favorite character of the week is. Like they
Yeah.
always, and most of the time, I think Luffy has never left the top 5.
I knew about Naruto years before it came on TV, you know, and I remember we were working at Funimation. It was the early days of Funimation, and I talked to Justin about this. I said, dude, I don't know, man. I just read this book, and it has such a Dragon Ball Z feel. I think it's going to be the next Dragon Ball Z. You know, we need to pick this up. And his thing was, well, no, we got people who are, you know, professionals who pick out the right shows and everything. I said, I'm telling you, this is going to be big. If it ever turns into an anime, it's going to be big.
Yeah.
And then when it started appearing in Hot Topic and everything, it was everywhere. I said, can I give you I told you so right now? Because I called that. I called that years ago.
I called it.
I mean, I just read it and I was like, it feels like Dragon Ball. You know, it feels like it'll appeal to the same audience. And that is the biggest anime audience in the United States.
Yeah.
Now, when I first started with watching anime, of course, obviously Dragon Ball Z, I didn't know anything about anime. I just thought it was just honestly something they just like America just designed. And I was like, I don't know who's doing this. This is awesome. My dad is so confused at watching it because he thinks he's just wondering, was like, why are they screaming for so long? It's like, Dad, I don't care. This is mine. You have your shows. Mom has hers. This is mine. This is like my this is my Friday night to Saturday morning into the Saturday evenings and going into Sunday.
Which is weird too, because your dad is probably of my generation, and you say he's a comic book reader.
He is.
When I was a kid, if Dragon Ball Z had come out when I was a kid, I would have been all over it, man.
He tried to get into it. That
would have been my jam. Because it was like the dream, it was like real animated superheroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it did have a very Western feel. Like I remember a lot of times, especially on the East Coast, people just assumed that we made it in the United States. And
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
that's what I really thought.
Because it has a Western sentiment to it, you know.
Yeah.
It does have that. So does One Piece, actually. You know. I remember our interview with Oda. He said that in his mind, the cast speak English, and I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, that kind of makes us the original cast then, because we're and it's the only show I've ever been in that I was actually cast by the creator of the series.
Take that, dub haters.
Yeah, I like to bring that up. Yeah, so, yeah. Can you see?
You see me?
It's like if somebody goes up and says, this whole English dub, Oda, can you believe this shit? Yeah, I picked them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, look, you may not like it, but the creator of the series says that's what it sounds like in his head.
Yep.
So we can't do better than that. Sorry. You can criticize me on Krillin because I went way different than what was on there. It's just the voice with Krillin. I got the part because I could sound like the Canadian version, because we took over from the Canadian. A lot of people don't even remember that. It was because it was over 20 years ago. But the Canadian one was done by Terry Clausen. And his voice is like this for Krillin. Hey, everybody! And after I got cast, I started reading the manga. And you know, when you read comics, you get a voice in your head, like what the characters sound like. And to me, I heard this voice. It just sounds like Popeye on helium. And I was like, oh, okay, I like that. But I was like, I can't do it because I have to sound like Terry Clausen, right? But the first day of recording, the director was like, he's a good old boy from Texas. He's like, it sounds just like Terry Clausen, but I hate that voice. And I was like, oh my God, they're gonna recast me, because it's my first role, right? And I said, I do other voices. And he goes, yeah, I remember from your audition, man. And so I gave him the voice that I read, that was in my head. And I said, well, what about like Popeye on helium? He goes, what would that sound like? I said, I don't know, something like this. Come on, guys, let's go. And he was like, yeah, use that. That's good.
He's like, that right there.
I think he realized at that moment, and I did too, I thought this is going to resonate with a lot of people. But what happened was the first couple of months that it came out, it was hate. That doesn't sound anything like Krillin. Krillin sounds like this. It's like a Muppet.
I'm going to be honest. I hated the Muppet Krillin voice. I actually loved your voice of Krillin, just because, in all honesty.
I can see his choice on that, though, because if you look at him, he's this cute little guy, and you're going to try to come up with a funny little cute guy voice. But I was like, he's more to this guy. He's tough.
He's he gets hit around a lot. He gets hit around and then comes and he just stands back up and he's like, all right, what round is this? Let's keep going.
Yeah, he's a little guy, but he's resilient and tough. And so you got to have a little higher voice, because he's a little guy. But he's got that gruffness because he's a fighter, right? And he's probably screamed a lot. I know I have just doing his voice. So, and Usopp even more. Usopp is not tough, though. I guess he is. He's got a strength of spirit. Although Oda said that after the time jump, he's now as strong as Sanji was before the time jump.
Oh wow!
So he's I don't know if he's deserving of being a god, but he's doing all right.
He deserves some praise at least.
Yeah.
He broke the spell and saved everybody, so he's considered a god by those people who was saved, but sure.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a fun series to do. It's one of the voices I would never give up. But it is so hard to do because unlike Krillin who talks like this, Usopp has that voice, but he's got a hitch in it. And so that hitch really puts a strain on my voice. And he tends to yell everything, even if you're just standing next to him. He's on this level. Hey, how are you? It's like, calm down. He's right there. I'm like, my favorite scenes to do with him is when he's got his ass kicked and he's like dying on the ground and dying.
Yeah.
Yell. The first time in my life I can just die in peace.
My voice.
I've had so many characters die, and the one character that you think would have died, it just does not die. Takes the licking and keeps on ticking. He's been in his whole body in a body cast, over and over and over again.
That's right.
That alone would make somebody you think would quit, but didn't stop Evel Knievel.
He's probably called God because of that, because he can't die.
Also, he's got like how many men, right? How many loyal men behind
10,000? Is it 10,000 men? 50,000 men?
It's 50, 10. I think it's
50, I think it's 50,000 men. Here's what I hope happens. I hope at one point in the story, he's got 50,000 men backing him up. Like he says, I have 50,000 men! And then they all come over the hill, and it's like for the first time, yeah, there they are!
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, he told the truth!
Finally, yeah.
And you know something? I think he will, because they've got the Straw Hat Grand Fleet now. So I think near the end of the story they'll come back and fight a war.
That's a real missed opportunity if they don't do that.
Yeah,
they really need to do that.
Yeah.
Just he's not at the helm, he's at the front end, and then he just literally shouts that, and then you just see the massive fleet behind him.
Yeah.
And everybody's just like, whatever, like it's like.
And the next thing
you got
shadows
50,000 men, and then he's just standing his ground. There they are, backing him up.
I mean, they're not just the 9 members now. They've got Jinbei now. He's officially joined. But I'm thinking, right, they've got to at least have 1 more or 2 more before the story ends. And
well, I mean, it looks like it's not going to end anytime soon. So more than likely, they have to keep gathering followers.
Yeah.
My thing.
Maybe it'd be like Jesus, he'll get 12.
Yeah.
I feel like they are aiming for that, like 12 crew members, but they don't know what to go with. Like I feel like kids.
The One Piece will be the sacrifice of Luffy on a cross.
Oh God, if they did that.
And then it was save the world through his sacrifice. And that is the One Piece.
Considering the fact that honestly, like with the story, it's like, oh, the will of D and all that. I'm like, what is even that? Like, y'all, it's like the story has not gone into the will of D, One Piece. Honestly, they haven't even gone into Gold D Roger a whole lot. I'm gonna be honest.
I think the will of D is really about Tenacious D.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we'll find that out later.
Well, they'll find the. You know what? That's what they'll find. They'll find the pick of destiny, and then they'll.
Look,
That's it. That's the One Piece.
That's the One Piece.
They'll go to Raftel and they'll go, "Who's that in the distance?"
The POD.
Who's that in the distance? It's Mr. Black. Where is the pick?
Jack Black comes over playing a guitar with Brooke.
Oh God, Soul King!
I really, 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 absolutely, ever since Whole Cake Island, I want Carrot to join them. She needs to, because she fits in so brilliantly.
I feel like that
them.
they will make her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, even now with the fighting in Wano, she's been teaming up with Nami and Chopper so much. And her and Luffy are like love food and they're both silly as each other, and it's like, how can she not be a part of this? she calls Chopper
too, like,
she calls Chopper her big brother. You know, how can he not take her in?
How can they separate those two?
I know.
They can't.
Although, you know, I'm surprised sometimes the characters that don't go along with them. What's the name of that princess that Caitlin Glass played years ago? It was in a movie.
Oh,
yeah,
Vivi.
I thought that she was going to be in the crew for sure. You know,
she
I
come
can
back.
think that.
She come back in a recent arc.
She did come back. Yeah,
it's been teased at the end of that she might be in danger. Like her, Shirahoshi, and Luffy, and Blackbeard are in imminent danger from this mysterious group. And I suppose more near the end of the story, we might figure out what's going on because. And then I think they said something about we'll start with Alabaster. So I think they might be trying to kill those people because they see them as an imminent threat to their order.
But I don't see how that's going to tie in with like Luffy, and just because I'm going to be honest, they can do whatever they want in the story. Like, oh, she's actually been traveling, trying to find Luffy, but it's like we know that she's way far away from Luffy. Let's face it, he's crossed the Grand Line. They're in what is that? What are
the
they
New
called?
World.
The Revi something.
The
where they're doing the meeting.
I can't pronounce that.
I can't
no,
pronounce
I
it.
don't.
Reverie or something.
Something like that.
Don't ask me to pronounce it.
I think
I don't know how to pronounce it even when I'm doing it.
I think one thing I loved in that is the four princesses all became friends because they all had one thing in common: Luffy saved them.
Okay, if you could have a okay, this is a question for everyone. If you could have a devil fruit, which would you have?
Oh, I already know what mine would be.
I remember, I think somebody asked Oda that as well, and he said he'd have Robin's because then he'd have many hands to draw his manga much quicker.
I would actually choose the op fruit.
What's the op fruit?
That's the Trolfgear law, D law.
Trafalgar
it allows
Law, yeah.
Yeah, it's the one that creates a space where you can pretty much do anything you want inside of it. Like you can move stuff. He could chop people's head off, but they would still be alive.
Oh wow!
He can change your hearts and minds as well.
Yeah. He was in which one? He was the enemy to Don Q. Gosh,
Doflamingo.
I never pronounced their name. Flamingo's rival. Because he was always.
Go ahead.
Because he was always he was trying to get revenge against him for killing. I just realized what your I just looked at. I'm sorry, I just got distracted. I just saw your name on the thing.
Oh, you
I
just
just-
That's actually my given name. Rispstud.
Rips-
2.
Rips-
I can't even say my own name.
Change.
Don't expect me to
Rispstud.
pronounce names in
Stud.
One Piece because I can't even say my own name, which is Rispstud 2.
But no, I like that power just because you can do a whole lot with it.
Yeah,
But
I
there's
think
such
I would eat of the brain slap fruit. And the brain slap fruit would be this. You would have the ability to mentally slap people in the back of the head. And they would instantly know why they were being slapped in the head, and they would correct their behavior from then on. And I would save the world by just driving. I would just get on the road and drive. Every bad driver, I smack,
Yes.
smack.
They're
And
like,
they'd straighten up, and all of a sudden, oh my God, everybody's just very courteous and peaceful drivers now. That's nice.
it's like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to slow down real quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I think that would be the most badass superpower.
I'd have one of those where you can turn into an animal like what Chopper has, but I'd have like one
Oh,
of
a Zora fruit.
yeah, and I'd
I'd
have
be afraid
the
to turn into an animal.
I'd do the half animal, half human thing, full human and full animal, but it'd be a cat.
I was always fascinated
Oh,
with werewolf stories, transformation into werewolves and everything, but it looks so painful.
you
know?
like you just
And it's got to be to compress and stretch tendons and bone.
I'll take that. I'll take that over being a vampire any day, though.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what kind of vampire.
Well, if I was gonna say a vampire, it'd have to be Helsing's vampire,
There you go.
like Alucard. I gotta be that. I can't.
There
be
was a
anything.
cool Marvel vampire guy who was a reporter that was bitten by Dracula, and he refused to accept the gift inside of him, but he would. It was around the Blade time. I can't remember the name of this
Mobius?
guy. No, not Mobius. No, he was just he looked like a regular guy. He was a regular reporter, and then he would occasionally use the vampire powers, but every time he did, he felt a bit of his soul slipping away. And I can't remember. I haven't seen it since the 70s, but I know it was a Marv Wolfman character. But I was fascinated by that idea of having the powers, but knowing that if you use them, you're
slipping away.
You're slipping away. Yeah,
You slip
bit by bit.
Little bit.
And at one time, he turned into this thing that was like a wolf with bat wings, and started kicking Dracula's ass with it.
That actually sounds pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie.
It was pretty badass. Oh, Marv Wolfman's a badass. He's the one that created Teen Titans.
Ripstud, I just see over there. You want to see? I feel like you.
What's your devil fruit choice, Rip?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay. All right.
Poor guy.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. This entire time, you guys have been talking stuff, and it's just been right over my head. I'm just like, what?
Have you ever seen One Piece, Ripstud?
I've never watched One Piece.
Okay. The best. Okay, if you could have a power to do anything, what would you?
What would your superpower be?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean,
In the world of One Piece, there are these things called devil fruit, and when people find them, eat them, they get a superpower.
There's
Oh,
only
okay.
3 types. The 3 types are the ones can turn you into an element, like you physically become it. The other ones are called paramesi, which pretty much you don't turn into the element, you take on the aspect of the power. Like for instance, the main character is rubber. So his power is to ability to stretch and expand and stuff like that. And then as Shelly wants to be is Zora, they just turn into like animal pretty much furries.
Yeah.
And mine I just made up. Doesn't exist anywhere.
And you have
I mean,
all those.
it could.
And you
It
have all
could
those
exist.
you have the abilities of that animal as well, whether you're like half human, half animal, furry, or full human or full animal. You just change.
What
it at
animal
any
would you go
time.
to most, Shell?
Just
Shelly, what animal would you go to the most? Would be your go-to animal?
a cat.
She said a cat, but
Yeah.
what type of cat? We're talking
Like a
jaguar?
big cat or a little cat, house cat?
Just normal cat, yeah. Because
Yeah,
they,
just cat. No,
I would
Now,
be
are
able
you-
to go
are
into
you
turn
a
into a
furry?
small. Kind of, but not in the sense of the creepy shit. I don't do any
not
of
in
that.
that internet. Not in that
No.
internet
Not,
way.
No.
not in the kind of you have like a trap door in the back of your costume or something like that. No.
Just gonna stick down here for a little bit. Just gonna.
You get
mean,
back up. You get back up here. You get
I have
back
to
up
admit,
here.
when I was a kid and I saw the Robin Hood Disney movie, I just loved that guy. I wanted to be him. I wanted to be that fox.
Yeah.
I got the
I
song
wanted-
in my head now.
Which one?
Robin Hood, Little
Little
John,
John up to the
through the
forest.
singing a hooty lotty day.
Oodie lolly, golly, what a day.
Gosh.
Do you know what the funny thing is? The town I live in is one of the
What's
nearest. The town I live in is one of the nearest to Nottingham. So I'm not actually too far away from
Oh, nice.
it. Yeah.
I definitely see, and that's the only reason I'd want to see Nottingham is because of that Disney movie.
Yeah.
But now I've got to see it. I've got to be in Nottingham.
Yeah.
And then I liked the Robin Hood lore after that, but what got my love of it started was that Disney movie with that fox,
yeah.
because I just thought he was cool.
I mean, there is
And
a.
then
I mean,
it just becomes cooler and cooler.
a lot of people have said, "Oh, that's one of the first movies I saw that turned me into a furry," but I've seen others around about that time
I
that
could
I
see it.
think would really turn you into a furry earlier. I mean, there's some ones that they say are for kids. I mean, there's this. I think it's a Latin America movie called The Ark, or El Arca as it's called, and this is infamous for one reason.
Oh.
Wait a minute, what's it
It's called El Arca, and it's basically the story of Noah's Ark, but from the perspective of the animals. And it is.
I know that
You
exact
know this
movie.
one. Yes.
And that turns you into a furry watching that because they're so.
It's
I
basically.
know why.
It's infamous for one reason. One of the villain characters is this panther girl called Panthy, and she has her hair up in like a beehive, and she's completely busty.
Oh.
Okay.
There we
Yeah.
They give her that.
It's totally there. That's what it
This
is.
came out before the Robin Hood movie.
This came out, I think, after
I think
years
it-
later.
After
After. Okay.
after the Robin
Yeah.
Hood movie.
Yeah, because I was thinking before the
I
Robin
think,
Hood
yeah, I have
movie,
to double check.
there wasn't a lot of furry interest. Like you go back to like Disney, Donald Duck, and stuff like that. Nobody's gonna have that's a different kind of interest.
Need
That's
to
not
find
the
a
same
picture of
people.
Panther. I need to show you a picture of it now.
El Arca, that's what it's called.
Automatically comes up. Oh, dear.
I think it's the one 2007. It seems when it came out.
How do you
Maybe
So
spell
that's
it?
pretty
wrong.
recent.
Yeah, so it's El Arca. That's basically 2007.
It is.
It definitely has like in 2000s like animation kind of style, so it's kind of understandable.
Okay, I've found found an image of her, but I don't know if I can.
Just gonna.
I think I can put it in the chat. I think.
What are you doing there, Rip? What are you doing there?
They only watched it for one great thing. Great loaves of melon, not cantaloupes. Those are horrible melons.
Oh, I
Watermelon.
just noticed something. Mr. Rip, see that shirt you got on right there.
Yeah, hell of a boss. This was I just picked this out of the closet. Like, I'm gonna wear this, and it was just like,
Yeah,
good.
I just decided to wear this.
What does it say?
Khajiits
All right,
are
colossal.
In all honesty, this is an old work shirt. I used to work at a theater. It's actually my third job.
Ooh.
That's a
And-
good job for somebody, especially
And-
in like high school and college years.
Yes, especially definitely high school. I would say that. Only problem is
Yeah.
the one I worked at, you couldn't work at if you were in high school for one reason. You gotta be above 18.
Yeah.
Serve alcohol.
Does he serve beer?
Yep, Alamo Draft House. Funny enough, met Dan Aykroyd at my job,
No kidding.
and I was like, "What are you doing here?" Turns out he actually has family that lives in the state of Virginia and actually in the same county as me, and I was like, "No way!" And funny enough,
So he's out visiting family and decided to go to the movies in that local town.
and the best part was
That's crazy.
his family actually went to my grandfather's church.
Oh.
And I was like,
Wow.
I was like, no way. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, my grandfather knows Dan Aykroyd's family. And he's like,
Well,
I didn't
how
even
did
know.
you meet him? Did you serve him or?
No, I served. We were showing. We were doing Ghostbusters, and he was out, and he was actually in the middle row, where like it's just like just one line seating.
So he came
and-
in to see Ghostbusters on the screen again.
Yes, and I was
Wow.
just like, I actually was serving his spot too, and it's like, is that Dan Aykroyd? It's like, it's because it's dark in the theater and I can't see. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's Dan Aykroyd. That's like, I can't mess with him. I actually did something. I was like, I actually didn't want to bother him, so I just wrote a message and I just like put it next to his drink, and it just said, thank you for all your work as in Ghostbusters. And he's just
That's
he sent
better than the note I got on one.
he sent me a message. He
sent
told
what?
he sent a message back to me, said, "Meet me after the movie, and I'll no. He actually was going to give me a handshake, and he wasn't give me a photo because he found out who I was, and I was like, how does Dan Aykroyd know who I am? Just because, and he only knew because of my last name.
He knows where everyone lives.
No, he knew it because of my family's name, and I was like,
That's even crazier.
Just family name.
I was at an Alamo Draft House, and the waiter wrote a note on the bill after they'd served me all night, and it said, "I know who you are." That's all it said. I know who you are. Like, this is creepy as hell. What? I assume it's an anime fan. And then I talked to him, and they said, "Oh, you're a fan of Dragon Ball Z?" He goes, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I was like, "Okay, cool."
it's like,
Now I
fan
have to leave
Dragon
a
Ball
big
Z,
tip.
obviously.
Now I have to leave a huge tip because it's not going to be worth it. Or you're going to talk about me afterwards.
It's like, guys, you never would believe this. Sonny just tipped me the biggest tip. He tipped me $100.
$100 for a $20 tab. No.
Also, he
you're
Kamehameha
crazy. If you think I'm
me.
giving people $100 for a $20 tab? No way.
Also, then he gave
But
me
I
the
do think it was like a
Kamehameha.
40% tip. Maybe 50. Well, we still don't know what Rip's power would be.
Yeah, Rip, come on, man. Give
What
us
superpower? You could have
power.
one superpower, dude. What would it be?
I'm gonna put you on
I
spot
have-
right now.
I have no idea what my superpower would be. There's a lot of things that I would love to do, but I guess just like bend like different elements. Like I guess like the from the last Airbender. You know, I'd like to bend. Yeah, kind of like that. Be like an avatar kind of style.
So
you
you'd
know?
be a-
What element do you most relate to?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Now, I'm
You gotta
kind of
pick
like
one.
Oh, I'm not sure. I really like fire. Firebending is really, really cool. Actually, I made a character based in the last Airbender, but in current times. And I had a character who was born as a firebender, but he was born the Avatar allegedly. So like firebending is like that main general area where I go. But if that were to cross out, I'd definitely be like an earthbender.
Earthbender. What do you think would be the most useful? Because as a fire could be mostly, I guess you will definitely get fire started when you needed to, but mostly a destructive power, right? Or defensive.
I never say fire.
They're both very useful.
Yeah.
I don't think fire is destructive. It's just in the hands of people it can be destructive.
I think water would be the most useful, though.
Every element's destructive. Wind's destructive.
Yeah, you're
Water's
right.
destructive.
You're absolutely right. There's a yin and yang to
Like we
every
have
element.
hurricanes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's just nature.
But I was
but
like,
in
if
the-
just something as an adventurer,
yeah.
you're going on, you've got this one, which one would be the most handy to be able to tap into at any moment?
I think water bending.
I mean,
personally.
water is just because you need water to live, but also you
Yeah.
can use it as a weapon. You know, you can use it to drill. You know, you can use it to shape. You can use it to destroy. I mean, it's like, but I think you can do that with all that. But you know, you can't drink fire.
Yeah.
Just drink fire.
Keep your body warm.
Well, there is those.
That's
liquor-
true. That's true. If you're out in the winter, you're not going to go cold.
Yeah.
You know?
that's-
You're out in
There
the
is-
snow,
There is those liquor drinks that
and you can
set on
melt
fire.
snow and make water.
There's those liquor
I
drinks
You
you
would've
can set
probably
on
use
fire
it to
and
blast
stick.
into the earth to get water.
Oh yeah.
But if you're an
Oh,
earth power,
yeah.
you can just move
The-
the
the
earth
cool-
and say, "Where's the fucking water?" You know, you can probably feel the earth and go, There's water over there.
Or well, if you go Avatar way,
I mean, you could literally pull water out of thin air too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You can.
You
just
notice
go...
nobody said air. Nobody wants to bend air.
Because nobody wants to
What
bend
the
air.
hell kind of lame element power is that? Air.
Because I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, we already bent.
I'm gonna be honest. Avatar like had it always cool, like fire bending, earth bending, and water bending. Everything was cool. Air bending didn't have jack.
I mean, they had the little ball thing that Aang did.
That was all, like, in all honesty, in the first season, in like just literally like the first books. That's all he was really doing, or flying, or sorry, gliding.
Well, that's the main thing for Aang, is to be able to fly. That's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah.
He also did the other thing, was just like he had the little thing, just like, ooh, just look at that.
I mean, you could certainly use air to as a weapon. I mean, you could.
Oh yeah, you could definitely. I liked it, and I'm not a fan of it, of Korra. Not a big fan of Korra, but I did like the concept they did with airbending later on, because of the one guy who actually threw away all his attachments, and he was then able to learn that you can actually fly, and you could even vacuum bend.
What?
All right, here's a question, guys. You get choice of 2 powers.
Okay. All right.
Flight or invisibility.
What was the first one?
Flight or invisibility.
Flight.
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 I don't
for me,
know.
too.
They're
I'm gonna
both
be
very
honest.
useful.
Being invisible is meh.
What
I'm
they say. What do you think? What do you think, Rip? Flight or invisibility?
I'll have to go with flight. As cool as invisibility is, the flight's just.
That's where I was too. I was like, invisibility would be really cool, but if I had a choice of just one, I'd got to be able to fly, right?
Because one, I can go anywhere.
Well, they say that says something about your character too.
Well,
like if you like to,
Yeah.
if flight
I mean-
is your choice, flight is a very noble choice, right? You just want to be exalted. You want to feel lift. You want to feel light and happy. Whereas invisibility, you can get up to a lot of shit with invisibility. You know, that's something that's absolute power that would.
I was
going
going to mention that, like invisibility, you could use so much and get away with it.
Oh,
Yeah, you would, and you would eventually. You would do everything.
Yeah.
You know, because you can. You certainly would never be poor because you'd just steal what you wanted.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Especially if you were desperate and you had this power, you're like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna go rob a bank. You know.
All right,
Possibly catch the fingerprints.
All right, just gotta wait till they open the bank vault door, and nope, there we go. Slip on by. Wait till they open it again, and then whoop 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 whoop.
Now the question is whatever you hold invisible to or no?
Oh, whatever you're wearing or whatever you're holding.
Yeah. So like, let's say you pick
You
up
have
like
to walk around naked all the time to get away with it. Yeah, I think if you're going to go with like invisibility powers, you have to go the Sue Storm way, right? She can turn herself invisible. She can turn anything else invisible. She can create invisible shields. But that really is an air element power with Sue, right?
Yes.
And that's an air that you don't usually see, is the invisibility of air, right? Because the air you don't see. So why wouldn't you be able to go invisible with that kind of element?
Exactly.
I got 2 powers. Super speed or super strength?
Oof, that's tough, man.
That's a tough
Now,
one. Yeah.
now, when we say super speed, are we talking like Marvel's way of super speed, or are we talking DC's way of super speed?
Are you just talking like, okay, can run 60 miles an hour?
So
That's super speed too, but it's not.
You could run past the point of breaking the sound of light.
The sound of, you mean speed of sound?
Speed of
Speed
sound.
of sound. That's what it is.
Wait, were you talking?
So you're saying at least Mach 1.
the speed of light?
Oh,
speed of light.
FTL.
Well, then you have to go with speed because now you got powers of time and space.
Yeah, but
Speed
that's Flash right there. And I'm going to be honest, I never want to be Flash for one reason. Backstory is always sad, and I have to eat at least 500 tacos a day.
I blame that on Barry Allen and his lack of imagination.
Yeah.
If I was the Flash, I would not have his problems. I would have no problems, and I would love eating 1,000 tacos a day. Believe me.
Yeah.
All right.
And not see anything from it. Like you have to eat this many tacos a day. Yes.
Just so that you are full, because that is your nutrition of the day.
Yeah. Line them up.
All right. I'll be a little bit.
And the Flash includes invisibility,
Yeah,
he
that's
can,
true.
He can
That is
he can
phase.
vibrate so fast you
Yeah.
can't see him.
Yep.
All right,
And
I'll be.
what? Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I'll be a little bit more specific. You can only run past the speed of sound for a limited amount of time, so it's not you can do it consistently. You know, it
Okay,
drains
so
your
we're
energy.
so we're
All right.
okay,
How
so
long can you run at the speed of sound, or
So
speed of light, or speed of sound?
the speed of whichever one's probably. So again, it would depend on like.
light is fat. Light, if you're going
Light
the
is the
speed of
ultimate
light,
speed.
that is the
So,
ultimate
Okay.
speed.
Okay, so
and even to do that for 5 minutes would be amazing.
Yes.
yeah, but again, it all depends on like how capable you are of doing it. You know, everyone has a limit. So again, you know, depending on, I would say like depending on how fast you can run without this being fast will determine how fast you can go, how much you can go for the speed of sound.
Super strength would include a lot, though. I
It
mean,
would, yeah.
the Hulk is super strength.
I mean,
Mhm.
if I'm Flash, I'm already stronger than Superman right there.
Yeah, you're right. Because you could literally punch through him.
Funny enough, I always love that fact. No one really understood this. That technicality, the Flash could defeat Superman just because he has not only momentum, but he is the equation of speed itself.
Yeah.
So meaning a punch will literally be so fast and strong that it literally shatters like he literally shatters time. He could literally shatter
He
literally
could
all of
punch
Superman's
you
time.
into becoming a baby.
Exactly.
Like knocked you back 40 years, dude.
It's like, I knocked you back 40 years. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there's a lot that goes with super speed. Super strength is kind of limited, right?
It is limited.
You could be this. Well, it depends on what your strength is, I guess. If you're the strength of the universe, then I think if you had the strength of the universe, it would come with super speed.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because you could compress the past and the future together, and you can manipulate it.
And it's like,
and that should be Hulk's ultimate goal. You know, he becomes so angry and so strong that he's as strong as the universe, and he actually starts manipulating time and space with his hands.
Just give him.
Yeah.
Well, then you know what, Hulk. Here you go. Here's the Infinity Gauntlet, and now you can do all those things.
I will say though, my favorite scene in the Justice League movie was when they're trying to subdue Superman after he just brought back to life. You guys seen this movie, right?
Yeah, I have seen it.
And he looks as he's fighting them. He looks and he just his eyes see the Flash moving. And he's like, holy shit, he can see me. And then after he gets rid of them, he starts coming after him. And he's not as fast as the Flash, but he's certainly more in control. And the Flash is falling all over the place.
I just hated the fact of who they used as the villain for that one, Steppenwolf, because no one understood who it was.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like,
and such a weird villain choice.
I thought they were going with Doomsday the whole time.
Yeah, why not?
Well,
maybe they're building up to it?
No. Zack Snyder actually is remaking the movie, and he's actually going to put Doomsday in it because he's like, I don't know why.
You mean Darkseid?
Yes, he's going to put, sorry, Darkseid. He's going to put Darkseid in it, and literally said, I don't know why this director literally put a villain that nobody knows. Because
even people who read comics are like, oh yeah, that guy, he's hardly in it.
I'm gonna be honest. I read Justice League comics. I didn't even know who he was, and I was like, "Who?"
You have to read like the what is it, the New Gods books. He's in those a few times, but even then, he's still a minor character.
And it's
not somebody you just go, yeah, let's base. Like maybe you had one comic where he was the villain, but you can't flesh that out for a movie. You need some big badass to go.
You need like Trigon. You need like
Trigon would be a good one.
That would have been
obviously
perfect.
Trigon's a good one because they use them all the time.
Exactly. I'm gonna be honest. The animated movies are like they're getting really dark.
Yeah. I even like the ones that's not dark. The Justice League Action. Have you seen that one?
I have. I did see that one.
That is such a fun. That's like just the fun of comics right there. And the sound quality is amazing. The sound mixing. It was like, God, this sounds like a cinema.
I'm kind of getting sick and tired of a lot of Batman movies now. Like, especially with the whole. Now they did a comic book that was way too dark, and then they just did a movie that was way too dark. And I'm like, you guys got to stop going to the dark side. You need to kind of like. I know y'all just did Superman, the where he's the Russian one, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is pretty good, not bad. And then you just switch over to go, let's just start going dark a little bit. Let's go with the whole dark side's finally destroying the Acropolis or whatever they called it. And I was like,
Apocalypse.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, they just destroyed everybody.
I get tired of the darkness of the live action, like especially Superman. Superman's not a dark character. You can fly. You're not going to be dark ever. If you start feeling down, just go up in the sky and you go, oh, I feel good. Okay, that's good.
Oh, let me just look at this
It's
beautiful
kind of.
sun.
It's also kind of hard to feel sorry for a guy who has everything. You know, everything. His powers are unlimited. So why would you ever feel bad? Oh, poor guy.
Because then he'll say, I mean, I may have everything, but I don't actually have everything.
But I wasn't hugged enough as a child.
I don't have my home planet. I don't have my parents. Well, you don't see. Well, here's the thing: Batman lives on his home world, and he doesn't have parents. But you don't see him getting all in his feelings about it.
No, because he hides from his feelings.
Yes, he hides from it.
He's dark because he refuses to face basic psychotherapy.
It's like, good sir, you
It's
have
like,
a son.
You had a
son
huge
now?
traumatic experience, son. You need to face that. Stop hiding behind a mask. Literally hiding behind a mask.
And Batman.
Also, would you finally just get rid of the Joker? We get it. You got a rule.
No
But
killing.
You got this no killing rule, but here's the thing. Do you see that crazy clown guy over there who has practically wiped out half of Gotham City with bombs?
That's on you, bud.
That's all on you.
That's on you.
And it's like,
Yeah.
why isn't the justice system we know he's crazy, but he's a real danger to society. We need to actually not forget about locking him up. We have this thing called the death penalty, people.
Well, if your whole ethics is I'm here to stop what the system can't, right? That's Batman. I'm
Yep.
here to stop what the system has failed us on, right? Well, just capturing them and giving them back to the system to fail again, that doesn't work. He's gonna have to go lethal on his ass.
And he does, and it's like
He does in Dark Knight.
He went.
Well, no, he doesn't go all the way. He doesn't go all the way.
He went on it in the whole laughing Batman, but that was just like I just got way like scary. I'm not gonna lie. That is the first comic book I ever put down and said I'm not gonna read that ever again. That's so dark, too dark for my taste. It's like drinking a colored water. It's just like having this little cup turn pitch black, drinking it, and it's like I never want to have that again.
I can smell the evil coming from the glass even before I get in there. I'm not going to drink it. You know what's weird though about comics is like I get disturbed by different things I read in comic books all the time, but when I'm drawing it, it doesn't bother me at all. You know, things that would bother me, like if somebody had to get an arm cut off or something, that kind of thing really bugs me. But it's like if I was drawing it for a story, I wouldn't give a shit. You know, even though I'm living it more. You know, I'm in that moment.
Right.
But something about drawing it it's like I'm just here to facilitate, you know, the story or whatever that might be. Lol.
Shelly. I just like the fact that we've been talking. Shelly.
Yes.
You're the host. I'm not the host today. Why am I being?
Yeah, Nudie and I have been dominating this conversation.
It's like it's. What do you? Come on, Shelly, give me.
Yeah, it's like one of us is holding one of her ears and the other's holding the other, and we're both kicking her in the butt. And she's like, "This is my show!" Meow, meow, meow.
She's like, no.
And we're like, "No, it's our show now!" Meow.
Like, that's right.
She's there going, "Where are my cat powers? Why are they failing me now?"
I'll tell you why. Because I just wished on the 7-star Dragon Balls and decided, you know what? I wish for first off, I have 2 wishes. I want a hoagie sandwich and to take over Shelly Kitten show.
Yeah.
You're already a part
Well,
of
Shelly,
it.
do you have anything to add before we take your ears again?
No, because I don't know too much about Superman or Batman.
We don't have to.
I mean,
we
you don't
talk
have
about that.
to just talk about anything.
Okay.
We could talk about Spider-Man.
Exact Spider-Man. He's got Spider-Man.
Got you Spider-Man all day.
Oh, we could talk about X-Men and say how Wolverine is the most overrated X-Men.
Shelly, do you read any American comics?
I
Just too cool for those.
think I rarely do sometimes. But
Which one you read?
Yeah, like which ones have you read?
Like your favorite, at least.
I know you read We Shadows.
Which ones have I read lately? Sonic the Hedgehog, the IDW one.
That doesn't count. What?
Trying to think which ones it was now. What was the other one? Agretsuko. That's a comic now.
Agretsuko?
Agretsuko.
Oh,
Is that another video game comic?
Agretsuko.
No, that's the death metal.
TV show.
The death metal TV. What is she? A panda?
Red Panda. Come on, dude.
Yeah, Red Panda.
It's a TV
that
show?
loves. It's a TV. It's on Netflix.
She's a red panda.
Yeah, so the show is about it's a show about this red panda who's obsessive over death or just heavy metal, and she
No, death
basically
metal.
invents
You're right.
the heavy metal. Oh, okay, so I
Well,
was
that
right.
sounds like a
Yeah,
cool
she invents.
show.
She basically
Yeah, oh, it's
she's
so good.
she's an office worker, and
And what is it
She-
called again?
Agretsuko.
yeah, she's an office.
Aggressico? Like
You
aggressive?
were gonna have to type it to him.
Yeah, aggressive Suko.
Aggressive co.
Yes.
You will have to type it to. Hold on.
Yeah.
Here, because there's a chat menu.
She's basically an office worker in Tokyo, and she has a very stressful work day all the time. Because she's so trusting. A lot of the work is put on her, and her boss disrespects her. And she lets out her aggression every night by going to karaoke and screaming death metal about how bad her day was.
Oh, nice.
There it is. That's how you spell it.
Aggressed Suko. Agretsuko.
Suko.
Agretsuko, yeah.
I call it Agretsuko. Like that's how I say it.
Agretsuko.
In Japan, it's called aggressive Retsuko.
Aggressive Retsuko?
Yeah, because her name it's called Agretsuko over here because it's a pun on aggressive, and her name is Retsuko.
Ah.
And I think, didn't we meet one of the voice actors for on Buntreon one time? Ben Diskin.
Ben Diskin, yeah. He was a part of
He's Taida.
He was a part of Ashley's podcast, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he came on Buntreon first. I thought it came on for a quick second.
Yeah. Oh no,
Michelle, do you ever read any comics that aren't based on a product that's already out? You know, like it starts off as the comic, and then other products come from it.
I do have the comic.
Because so far, what you've listed is things that are based on other intellectual properties.
I do have the Comixology app, so I'll have a look. I have read X-Men.
Okay, so there we go. X-Men.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite?
What period?
From the very start, I think.
Oh, so you went back to the early days.
Yeah.
All right, who's your
back when Kirby was drawing it?
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Who is your favorite X-Men?
Nightcrawler.
No, that's a good question. Nightcrawler. That's
Nightcrawler,
mine too.
yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest. If you had said Wolverine, I would have been like, I would have been honestly, because most overrated X-Men just called the cool guy, and I'm sorry, they fight a villain who uses I'm sorry, you got a guy who's not even powers, mind you, is his power. He has two powers: healing and then bone manipulation. And then what did they give him? They gave him metal. What's the villain's the villain's name? Magneto. What is his power? To be able to manipulate metal. It's like okay, so we have all the X-Men. Hold on, let me remove this guy. All right, let's go. The rest of you, let's go.
But I always thought Nightcrawler had the coolest outfit.
Yeah.
And I thought really cool powers, you know. But it's a power that you've got to exercise, right? You can't. It's like you've got to be athletic with that power for it to work.
Yeah.
But he has
and acrobatic too.
Yeah, he is acrobatic too, naturally, right? And he has that tail as well.
Honestly,
and I like that he was practically a priest starting out, and yet he was treated as a demon because of the way he looked.
Mm.
Well, funny enough, if you go deeper into the comic with him, you find out that he actually is one.
A demon?
Yes, he's actually the son of Metasopheles.
Oh, I don't like that.
And but I did find out that is not the. I don't think
it's
that
not canon.
I don't think it's canon.
Yeah,
I have to look it up again. I have to look at the comic again, but I don't believe it was a canon.
Because I think that drowns out the pathos of the whole idea of this guy who is like practically a monk.
Yeah.
But he looks like a fucking demon, you know? And so he's treated by the thing he fights, which is evil. He's treated as if he's evil and he's against evil.
Yeah.
Most of the main thing.
So
that's to him actually to be a demon. I mean, that can be done, but it's a different story, you know? Like Hellboy is a demon who fights that. You know, that's a much better telling of that idea.
I think the one thing I like about Hellboy is he loves cats. he has loads
you love cats.
I do, yeah. He has.
I love cats too. I'm so allergic to cats, though I can't have any.
Yeah.
But I really love cats. I had one for 10 years, and I would just have to wash my hands every time I pet her and stuff like that, you know. But
my brother's
and I couldn't let her go into certain rooms because I'd get really allergic.
My brother's the same.
I love cats. I have dogs. I'm allergic to them, but not as bad.
Yeah, he has to. Yeah, because I ended up last year, because my brother's the same way. I had my cat Monty for 16 years. He's very old, and he passed away last year.
Wow.
And oh god, it was such a sad day. I really can't bring it up. But anyway, ever since he died, this neighbourhood cat has been coming round to our house every day, and he's still coming now. And very, very lovely cat. He's a very sweet cat, and he helped us overcome the grief. And it's like, okay, when we're ready to bring another one home, how's this one going to react? And she said, whatever he chooses, he's not our cat.
Next thing you know, he just hops on your windowsill and he's like, "I'm ready."
Yeah, he's like, "I heard you had an opening."
Like, is the position been filled?
Well, let's see. Our dog ran away. Was it 2 years now? Maybe 3 now. And we were talking about him last night. We still have 2 other dogs, and I'm like, oh God, I don't think I'm emotionally prepared. And they're old. They're very old dogs. They're like 14 years old now.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, I just don't know how I'm going to take it. And they're only homebound. He at least had the dignity to escape. The mowers left the gate open, and at that time he could barely walk. But he was such a runner in his younger age. He was almost 20 when he ran off.
Wow.
And then we put out a reward. Well, like I think it was like $300 or $400 reward. We posted all over town. I know for a fact that he died because anyone who had found him would have collected the money. But there was a coyote that has been wandering around our neighborhood, and he was a little dog, but he thought he was an alpha, you know. He would take on anybody. And so I really think he went after that fucking coyote and died, you know.
It's a possibility.
Which is how he'd want to go.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's like, I'm gonna take
in a blaze of glory.
I'm gonna take that coyote down one way or another.
Well, he and I were walking, and there's this giant German Shepherd who was across the street. And he's just a Chihuahua pug mixed. The German Shepherd ran across the street, just grabbed him in his jaws, and started shaking him like this.
Ooh.
So I am punching a German Shepherd in the head, saying, "Let go of my dog!" And the dog let go, and then I got in my Bardock voice, and I'm like, "Go home! Go home!" And the dog's like,
he's like,
thinking about it. He was really thinking about it. I said, "Go!" And he was like, and I'm just terrified, right? But I'm just like, use your Bardock voice, keep him scared. And he walked across the street. I picked up my dog, and then we ran to the house. And he had a puncture in the side of his body. And the vet said, nothing vital is hit. You know, he's going to be okay. But he always had a little black dot there to remind him. But as soon as we got to the house, he was like, "Come on, Dad, let's go back and get him. We can take him." He was fighting while he was in the jaws. He was like going, "Har, har, har," trying to get the guy's jugular while he was in the jaws of this dog.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of warrior he was.
It's like, I will show you how much of I am my
I
father.
guarantee he was after that damn coyote.
Yeah. No. I've had a bit of an idea.
What's your
that?
idea?
You were asking me so many questions before. Actually, do it one at a time.
All right.
Yeah.
Sonny, you started.
You want me to ask a question?
Yeah.
All right. Shelly,
Yes.
if you had to pick one area of fandom, one that you could only have one for the rest of your life, what would it be?
And it has to be a fandom.
Yes.
Like, I mean, anime, comics, movies,
Probably would be animation in general, I think. Just any form of it.
Okay. All right, now what if you could only have one genre of animation?
I have no idea. Probably just Western animation, I guess.
Over anime?
To a degree, yeah. I do like anime. But...
Okay. Well, okay, that's a good question then. What is your favorite Western animation?
I already probably know this one.
For a Finnish show, I'd say Steven Universe.
I knew it.
Yeah, I should have guessed that one.
I heard. I was like, when you said that, I was like, I already know the answer to this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when Husband Hotel comes out...
You do a lot of Steven Universe stuff.
When Husband
Did
Hotel
you ever talk
out...
to my old engineer about doing scripts for the classes?
No, he never really contacted me.
Oh, well, it's too late now. I don't even have that. I can't even do that now. But at the time, I was hoping you guys would get together.
Yeah.
She had written a couple of scripts for that could be used in a class, and I thought that would be really cool. Is like to have a student write scripts for that we would perform in class. But now we don't even do the recordings anymore because it's COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
All right, Rip, you've been quiet, so you asked that question.
Oh, me ask a question?
Yeah, you gotta ask Shelly a question.
I don't know. I don't really have a. You go first, because I got to think of a question.
I went first. The most he can do is go second.
Okay, go second then.
Alrighty. Question. All right, Shelly. If you could live in any time period, what time period would you live in?
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but what country?
Do you want the straight answer or the joke answer?
Both. Let's start with the joke one.
Both.
Okay, let's do the joke answer. I would like to live in the 1800s, where disease was absolutely rampant and everyone died from the plague. But, but no, my real answer would be.
Isn't that today?
Yeah.
We just got that. We went to the future with it.
Yeah.
You got your wish, Shell.
Shelly, why did you make a wish on the Dragon Balls like that?
I don't know.
Need something?
So what's your real?
Oh, you're leaving?
Where would you really like to be?
Oh, okay, my bad.
Right here, right now.
What would I wish for? Did you say?
Yeah. What time period would you like to wish? Which would you really like to live in?
I think just as an excuse to be as weird as possible and to get away with it, I'd say the 90s. Because I grew up then and it was a weird time.
Oh, so just go back.
Go back to your childhood.
Yeah, go back to my childhood.
But just
I get that though. I think I would like to go back to the 60s. And no, not 60s. Late 60s, early 70s to 80s. Like when I go to Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco and hang out with all those underground cartoonists of that time.
Yeah.
I always thought that would be a good time to live in. Although I think it'd be too heartbreaking though, because the racial inequality was even worse then.
Yeah.
I think it might just be too much to handle, as a person from this time period going back to then I can't stand that,
Oh, there would be massacres.
But it wasn't so much in San Francisco though. So maybe if I just never left the town.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, probably San Francisco. San Francisco? I think you would be fine. It's just going to
Yeah.
like Los Angeles or anything like that. Bad.
Yeah, you go into the major cities and stuff. But there was a nice little hippie thing going on where everybody was open-minded and smoking weed all the time and drawing comics and putting out music. That would have been a good period to go into, but I just don't think. I mean, you go before the '90s, things get dicey. You know,
Well,
Yeah.
'80s kind
Yeah.
of
they get like,
slowed down on it.
I remember
Yeah.
ending up. I think I was in.
yeah, it's true. '80s was a pretty open-minded time.
Mm-hmm.
'70s got it like it was like late '70s, early '80s. It started kind of slowing down, and the whole like prejudice thing started slowing down. There's still some, obviously.
I think in the '90s, I believed that it was practically non-existent in the '90s. You know, I didn't sense that anywhere, and I think it was just because a lot of people were keeping it in. You know,
Yeah.
and then recently, now we see that it's always been there. It's
Mhm.
just been covered up. You know,
Yeah.
sad,
Yeah.
scary, but weird too. I mean, because what happened? Did they just think they knew that it's wrong to be this way, so it's best to be in hiding? And suddenly they've been given permission to, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird to see so many racists. It honestly is. It's very strange to me,
Yeah.
especially because I'm old enough to have seen the progression. Like it's like, okay, very racist, a little less racist, a little less racist, a little less racist, and all of a sudden, oh, you know, racism is pretty much gone, and then go, no, you're wrong. That was no progression. That was the illusion of progression.
And it's like we just wanted you to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
We just wanted to hide it because
Or maybe
we
they were so
losing.
afraid because they thought that they were in the minority, and so they were the minority, and they wanted to really to hate on minorities.
Basically.
Weird.
I think the last time I impressed somebody, but the fact that I'm older than I apparently look, is saying to them I was around when the Spice Girls started, and the reaction was, "What? What you
When the
mean?"
Spice Girls came out, I went, "Is this what the kids are into?" That's how old I am.
I'm gonna be honest. I was born with the Spice Girls, and I was like, "What is this?"
I have to say though, I was like, "That baby Spice, she's cute."
Mm.
She does acting now.
Yeah, I know. I've
Really?
seen her on
Yeah.
AbFab a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing good things though.
She's good on AbFab. She's
Dude.
good at playing herself. You know, nobody plays Baby Spice like she does.
Yeah.
Speaking of shows,
You guys seen AbFab?
I've
Never.
seen a little bit of it. Not too
Mm.
much though.
I don't know what that is.
Absolutely Fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
British comedy.
Jennifer Saunders. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I watched it once a few years back, and I never really watched it again. I don't know why.
It's a great concept. It's like the mother is this person who runs a magazine, a fashion magazine, and she's so irresponsible and childlike and reckless, and her daughter is the one who raises her. Their
Yeah.
daughter is the mom. Yeah.
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 It's a good concept. It's a funny show.
Oh
And
yeah.
Jennifer Saunders writes all of it
Yeah.
and stars in it.
Yep. Joanna
Do you know the
Joanna Lumley
Diane
as well,
French?
I think.
Was it Diane French?
Dawn French.
What's that?
It was Dawn French.
Dawn French, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see her show what she plays a priest?
Vicar of Dibley.
Vicar Dibley, yeah.
Yeah.
You ever seen that show?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good show too.
It
That's
is.
a sweet show.
Speaking of shows, I don't know if it came out yet. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion. I'm gonna be honest, love that show. I didn't realize the reunion was coming.
What year reunion is it? 30?
30th, the 30th reunion.
Wow.
Because
Every-
they
all
I
the
think-
cast come back, don't they? Except minus James Avery for obvious reasons.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I saw that and I was like, wow.
Not able to fly.
Mm.
30 years since the Fresh Prince. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Really is.
Oh yeah. Rip, you still have a question.
Oh yeah, Rip.
Oh
what's
yeah,
that?
what's your question, Rip?
Cade 6 wants that question.
All right, I have to think of a question. Shelly, with all the characters you voice, because you voiced quite a few characters, whether it be just for a fan thing or in a project you were helping in. Out of all those characters, if there was a possibility, which one would you want to take the role of?
Mean in terms of like a permanent role, like I was that character's voice.
Yes.
Yeah, so like you voice that character, you are that, you become that character in
Which one would
like
you
an
want to
alternate
be?
universe. Yeah.
I think I'd probably be Fluttershy actually.
Oh my gosh. Wait, hold on a second.
Did you say Fluttershy?
Yeah.
Fluttershy. What the heck?
It was
It's
Fluttershy.
a Fluttershy.
It's
It's
so.
a Fluttershy.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, you know,
Fluttershy.
Ripsabroni. Come on.
I love MLP. Here's the funny thing. I became a brony way before I became a furry.
See,
Well, you were here for our furry conversation, were you?
No, furry.
No, you were
I'm
late.
intrigued
We were
now.
talking about furry and where it started and stuff like that. And we said, I think Shelly said that a lot of people.
no, he was
started-
here. No, he was here for
You
that.
here for that? For the Robin Hood conversation?
For the movie.
Yeah.
Oh
Movie
yeah,
Robin Hood,
I
the
was
Disney
here. I was
movie?
here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
image that Shelly
Yeah.
just sent in the group chat. Of that movie. I was like, what did
Yeah.
Shelly just say? And I just see this thing and I'm
Yeah,
like,
you're talking about La Arc being
It's fine.
another
Of
one
that-
that
of that
Solidified
the honeycomb hair librarian look, and I'm just like, why does this furry have such a full figure?
She's got quite an hourglass. No, seriously, like, have you seen her hourglasses? They look phenomenally made.
Yeah. And
I'm
then
gonna be honest. Whoever you knew who was making this was like, you know what? Let's just step up the furry game. Let's get out of Robin Hood. Let's get out of the G and go straight to P-13.
yeah.
They thought Robin
Let's
Hood
stop
was
messing
good.
around. It's time for some cleavage.
Straight up.
That's what I want on a t-shirt. Let's stop messing around. It's time for some cleavage.
Cleavage. God, Donald, get out of here!
Oh, come on, let me see your boobies. Let me get a justice voice. Go kitties. Come on. Big over, baby. Big over.
Finally, a man who speaks my language.
You do a really
there are
good
many
one.
people who
It's
can...
hard to find people who can do Donald Duck that well.
I can't do Donald.
Yeah, I
Most
know.
people just come out
It
like-
literally took me,
Like that.
I can't.
and I could do.
You want second kiss?
My parents let me
Come
throw.
on, man.
The thing about Donald Duck, which is weird, is that it's not a voice. It's a whistle.
Yeah.
Because you can talk and do Donald Duck at the same time.
Okay, how are
It sounds like a possessed duck.
one of my favorite
Yeah, see? Have you ever tried that before? Like, I didn't even know.
That's
I thought I
actually
was
my
doing
first-
some
that's-
voice. And I realized it's not a voice, it's a whistle.
I figured out it's actually like an air bubble in your cheeks. Like, you know, when you push
Yeah.
air, you have like a little space, and you're literally just pushing it right through it.
And you're also, and it takes a lot more air too, like twice as much air to produce a sound.
Mhm.
And you're pushing
Yeah.
back of your tongue against the one side's teeth in the back. It's the molars in the back of one side.
Yeah.
That's the basic form.
you?
And then you have to over enunciate so that sound comes out as talking.
And like, you can't obviously talk it right away. Like, they literally took me months to be able to talk fluently.
So I can be able to do it. Fine, of course.
You know, obviously you got to practice it.
I figured it out really quickly, but only because I was a very little kid. And I was
Oh,
impressionable,
okay.
and my father did it. My father would come
Oh,
home and
okay.
go,
Hi, Shaggy.
you know. So I watched him one day, and I was
Oh,
I was
hi.
4 years old, walking around, Until finally he said, he went,
Oh gosh.
oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Oh, wow.
Oh man.
Oh my! Pluto, get down!
Oh boy!
I kid you not, when I started doing the Donald Duck thing, everyone was just like, when are you gonna stop with this face? I'm like, it's not a face.
It's not
It
a
is
face.
who
It's
I
a
am.
way. It's a way
This
of
is my
life.
way of life. I would only be speaking in
It's
Donald
the
Duck.
only way.
I thought about that. If I ever lost
Exactly.
my voice, I could at least communicate as Donald Duck. Most people wouldn't understand
Exactly.
you, but it'd be harder to communicate.
Oh yeah.
But I think if that was your only mean of communication, that's what you did 24/7, you'd get really good at it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here's something I want to do with you, Rip, actually. Can you put on the Alistair filter?
Oh God.
Oh wait a minute. Well, I can't put on the Alistair filter, but I can bring Alistair along with us. How are you doing, Shelly?
Oh, yeah, I was wanting to do a favourite line from the Has Been pilot, which was, "What can you do, my effeminate fellow, and I will be angel dust."
Oh, we're gonna see a
What
scene.
can you do, my feminine fellow?
I can suck your
No.
Your loss.
You lost.
All I can say is how did I get in this scene? How did me and Sonny get into this scene? I was just at the bar.
Yeah, now all of a sudden it feels like one of those dating sites or something, you know.
It's like
Renting my fellow church.
Shut your
no, Donald, don't do that.
Donald being
in my mouth.
Donald, no.
Donald being censored.
He starts gargling with it.
What have we done?
And Mickey's like, swallow, goddammit, swallow!
You swallow right now, Donald.
Bastard! You swallow! You're on bottom and you know it! Swallow!
You're about a bitch.
If you spit that out, I'm gonna kick your ass,
I swear to God, on Goofy's name, if you spit that out.
Oh, I actually. Hold on. I gotta find Goofy's scream. I have that on my mixer.
Mickey, the lab's on fire.
pornographic scene I've ever been a part of.
Oh, which one?
Shelly started this whole conversation going downhill.
It's like let's just go straight to hell with it, people. Let's just go to this. Let's just go to this happy hotel.
It's
I had
usually-
no choice but to have Donald Duck off Mickey Mouse because Shelly started it.
Oh boy!
No teeth, goddamn you!
It's usually.
Just tilt your head back.
Alright, hold on. I think I got Goofy's scream.
Yeah, keep that sandpaper tongue off me! You ducks and your weird sandpaper tongues!
Oh God!
I like how the escalator. So
It escalated. It went from, as they say, 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, that just went right to the bottom.
It went to negative 100.
Yeah.
I-
Started
I-
out so well.
I do remember. I remember that Vine about the guy saying about shaving cream, and somebody did a comic version of that, where it was Luffy talking to Sanji, because they imagine that's the sort of conversation Luffy would have. He just says, I think he just says, "Hey, do you have any shaving cream?" And he says, and he says, "Hey, you ever eat shaving cream?" And he just says, "No, I don't like the way it tastes." Wait, you eat shaving cream? He goes, "Wait, you eat shaving cream? No, why would I eat it if I don't like the taste?"
It took me a second to remember that one, but I do remember this.
No, but I don't like the. No, because I don't like the taste. You eat shaving cream? No, I don't,
eat
because I
it.
don't like the taste of it.
Oh,
You must have eaten it sometime, buddy.
I've seen a few ones where they said like current generations when they sing the kids to sleep in current generations, and one of them was like it says like, "Alright son, good night. Hey dad, can you sing me a lullaby?" "Okay. Everybody get up, it's time to slam."
It's like, Dad, this is not a sleeping song. It's like, yeah, but that movie sure did put me to sleep.
Oh, some of those Darius Benson ones were my favourite ones as well. I think one of them was where he said modern day bedtime stories for kids that are related to memes or sayings. He just says, and the prince said, Rapunzel, throw down your hair. Rapunzel said, I ain't gonna do it. Are you sure that's how the story goes? Yes, I'm sure that's how the story goes.
The end.
The end, kids.
It would be a shorter story.
He did
Rapunzel, let down your hair.
he did that thing where he said,
And
Don't be a bitch.
whatever happened to turning off the TV when you're gonna somebody? That's what I want to know. Well, you got to Netflix and chill. Turn the goddamn TV off and pay attention to the person who's underneath you,
Yes. They're into
Or
their
above
dick
you.
cold eyes.
or whoever's bill is sucking your off me. Turn the TV off.
Why do I feel sandpaper?
The goddamn TV off.
Daisy, don't tell Donald you're here.
I want to hear my TV show while I'm shutting you off. I want to listen to the drop.
Can't even say crown. Say crown. It's hard to say. I want to say listening to the crown.
I'm listening to the crown. What I'm doing sound like you, bitch.
Sounds like you're both saying crowd, not crown.
Crown. What?
What's an easier one to say that people would recognize from Netflix?
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, son. I'll get you a big shot. I'm gonna shut your Stranger Things.
let's not get too deep in the sexy time stuff because you'll get me demonetized.
Too late.
Oh, too late.
All
I
right,
literally.
kids.
Way
So-
too late.
So, kids, listen. The birds and the bees. Here we go.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you can get Rip Study. He'll just do the whole censor for our voices.
Yeah. So when mommy and daddy love each other very much, they just
This is called the shocker. Kids.
and then they become.
learn this.
And then don't forget this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I could also put on some
Us-
SpongeBob music.
I know the Spider-Man. I know the Spider-Man.
I don't know the spider.
It's no, it's the Tobey Maguire one.
Thwip, thwip, thwip.
I'm sorry, Shelly.
Shelly, now can you get demonetized for this?
You can, but if Rip, Rip, you have the censorship. You can take the video and just do the censor.
So can I
So
send
this
you
whole
the
thing
audio?
is going to be like listening to a
Yeah,
rap
yeah.
album on public radio. It's going to be.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Hey, Rip's got it. Rip's got
I
it.
got you.
And even then you can just.
But I
you
think
can
some
cut
of the
out this.
best things we said were on stuff that you'd want to censor.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
like
Anyway, you
on.
just put a warning on it. Said warning. You will be disturbed by this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly, that's why I don't understand like YouTube these days. You can put a warning on stuff, but then they'll just be like, "Well, you're getting demonetized even if you had this warning up." It's like, why? It's like you just I pander to a crowd. I'm pandering to a crowd of people.
I know. It's.
Mm.
I have a really problem with any kind of censorship at all, really. But the crown thing, it also warns because Princess Di came on and she did a lot of she would had anorexia, right, or bulimia.
Yeah.
And so there was a warning about that, and I was like, God, I'm so sick of these trigger warnings, blah blah blah. And then I watched it, I was like, I was triggered by it. And I was just like, I don't.
Oh.
I'm glad I got a warning that this is coming.
the one thing I
And,
don't like
you know why I was triggered? Because when I was in college, I used to throw up all the time,
Wow.
but from drinking beer.
right. The one
But
thing
I
I don't
was,
like.
I did. I would drink some for a good semester. I was drunk every day.
I'm not much of a drinker, so I wouldn't. I would never get.
I'm not
to that
much of a
point.
drinker now because I'm
I'm a
old and it
social.
affects me.
I used to I used to do college drinking, but I got old real quick. And I'm just social drinker, but if I go social
I'm a social drinker now. What is your preference for social drinking?
feet
apart.
whiskey.
Whiskey.
I'm gonna be honest, whiskey and any liquor that's like good. I hate, in all honesty, will never recommend for social drinking. Don't do Jaeger.
No.
No.
Here's what I recommend if you like whiskey. You need a good sipping tequila.
Oh yes.
And there is one called that's done by Ron White. the comedian. He's the distributor for this tequila called Number One, right? And I saw him on an interview and he was talking about it. I went, I love a really good tequila. I'll try it, right? And it was expensive, but it was so good and it was really smooth. And I told a friend of mine who also loves tequila, I said, dude, I found the greatest tequila ever. And he goes, no, I know what the greatest one is. I've already have it. I've got it in stock. I said, well, I'm going to bring mine over. Let's have a taste test. So I bring over my bottle. He looks at the bottle and goes, man, you're not going to believe this. I think it's the same tequila. And he comes back and he's got a different bottle. It's slightly different in shape, but basically the same. But it was a different name. And then I said, well, I tried it. And I was like, it tastes just like this. It turns out it's the same bottler. It's just that Ron White had the American distribution rights. And my friend bought this in Mexico.
Oh.
So it was the same tequila. But I said, how great is that our taste buds are so attuned to what's good that we both knew that's the best, even though it was two different brands.
Two different brands, but same taste.
Same alcohol. But it's really good though. It's if you like, just to sit back and enjoy what you're drinking, and you're not an alcoholic or anything. You just want to like sit back and go, this is good and relaxing. It's also good with a cigar.
I'm gonna be honest. I've done Johnny Walker. I'm gonna be honest. Like that is my favorite whiskey. Now, if I'm going,
I wish it was mine because it's cheaper.
If I'm going anything like, I really want to drink like with friends, like, and I'm not talking like soft stuff. I'm talking let's get into the drink.
Yeah,
it's mead. Like I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, that'll get you really drunk.
It will get me drunk, but that's where I want to be like having fun, but it's socially.
Yeah,
it's like
I always have trouble if I drink beer or mead. I have trouble communicating. It's like I just everything's right, or I just feel like I want to take a nap. But if I drink whiskey or tequila, I'm up, and I don't. My words aren't slurred. I'm just enjoying the moment.
Despise champagne.
I'm a bit more aggressive, I think.
I despise champagne. I don't care who likes it. I'm gonna be honest.
I've drank maybe 1 or 2 glasses of champagne that I thought were good, and that was because I was at some ritzy party, and it was very expensive champagne. And it's like, the reason we don't like champagne is because it sucks. The stuff we're drinking sucks.
It's like, no, I've had cheap. I've had one time expensive. Didn't like neither. And it's like
same with wine with me. I mean, I love a really good wine, but it's got to cost $30 or more to even be decent. And my wife will drink $2 bottles of wine and go, this takes you to the same place.
It's like, I don't want to go to the same place. I want to have something with taste.
I want to enjoy the ride. To me, it's about the ride. It's not the destination. That's why I like cigars, but I can't handle them. I can have about maybe 2 a year.
I haven't seen. My dad used to love cigars, and I've not seen him once smoke a cigar.
Because a cigar's about stopping. It's like sit back. A cigarette, that's just.
No, he doesn't smoke cigarettes. He honestly despises them.
But a pipe or a cigar, that's like, let's take a moment and just relax.
I've seen people abuse pipes too many times, like just for even like just tobacco wise. And it's like if I see someone with a cigar, I just know that it's like they're enjoying something good is happening in their day. That's how I always see a
People
cigar.
don't smoke pipes as much as they used to. I remember in my whole life it's been that way, but before me, the generation before me, a lot of people did smoke pipes. But when I was in my 20s, I had a big collection of pipes, and I knew a few people who smoked pipes, but now I don't know anybody who smokes a pipe.
I know 3
unless they have weed in it.
If anyone had, speaking of that, I saw one person, who I know who smokes weed through a pipe, but he doesn't do it often. He actually bought a pipe from the movie The Hobbit.
I'd have to smoke weed out of that.
I was like, he literally was like, he offered me.
It was actually from the set?
Yes, from the actual set. And I was like, it can't be. It's like, you remember that?
I'd smoke whatever's in it.
He told me, he's like, remember that time? Remember when I told you I went to California and I was like, I was just going out there for like some business. And he's like, yeah. I was like, well, I kind of had some fun a little bit. And I was like, you know what? I was like, he just saw it at an auction. I was like, it can't be the real thing. And it's like, you couldn't have gotten the real set piece.
How much did it cost him?
He said it cost him over, because it was an auction, it cost him over $5,000.
Then that's
I was like,
probably real.
And
That
it's
sounds
like,
about right.
it sounds about right, but I just feel like you could have probably gotten. It's like somebody would have probably paid for more for that. But I don't know, honestly.
It depends. You know, a lot of people go to auctions because it's cheaper.
Yeah, and I'm just like looking at it. It's like this feels real. This, like, every touch of it. I was like, I've never really seen. I was like, if I was on the set, this would be the real thing. But I'm like, you know what? Screw it. It's the real thing.
It also depends on how many they made for the movie. You
I
know, if there's
believe-
100 of them,
I
you
think
know.
the number they made was 20. I think they made 20.
Yeah, I think you got a good deal. I think it could have gone up to 10 grand or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, honestly, anything like anything.
Was it the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit movie?
The Hobbit.
That's why it was only 5,000. If it was Lord of the Rings, it'd be like
Oh,
20,000.
if in all honesty, if he had the Lord of the Rings one, I'm like,
Gandalf's pipe from Lord of the Rings
come
would
little
probably be about
Hobbit,
$100,000.
smoke my ganja.
Yeah, at least, maybe more.
Come little Hobbit, smoke my ganja. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
This is like this should be shown by YouTube to people who are starting new channels about how not to perform if you don't want to get demonetized.
It's like if you don't want to get demonetized, don't be us.
Don't be talking about drugs. Don't be talking about sex.
I've never done any of that stuff.
I'm gonna
too
be honest.
precious for that.
You never done drugs or sex?
No.
What about rock and roll?
I like a bit of that, but I don't listen to music very often.
You know, that's a good question too. You don't listen to music. That's something I think a lot of people are not as much into as they used to be.
Yeah.
No, if
You know why? Because I don't think you get as devoted.
if I hear people listening to music, it's usually like the worst type of like rappers out there, and I'm like, can y'all just like listen to something that's good? It doesn't even have to be current. It can be something from the past. You're listening to I just heard this. I finally heard everyone was always talking about him, Tekashi 6ix9ine, and I'm like,
Garbage.
this is horrible. This was horrible. Like I don't understand he's just screaming, and it's like he's just like I'm like, if I wanted to hear a dog barking, I was just like looked at my dog and just put on some music, and then
Well, what do you think of like Snoop and Dre and Eminem?
I love. Here's the thing. I love Snoop Dogg. I love Dr. Dre. I love the classic rap game. The current one is so iffy because there are some good ones, and then there's just like really terrible ones.
Yeah.
Like Eminem, I love his old stuff.
You don't like Rap God?
I liked Rap God, but I was just like, I just feel he's just trying to keep like into like the mainstream of rap, and I'm like,
you know, you say that, but Rap God was so different than anything that the mainstream had ever heard.
Yeah,
that's why I did like it, but it was like it was leading in. Like, I think it was the thing that was leading people into like, oh, you got to mumble rap, and I'm like, no, he's not mumble.
He's
rapping.
not mumbling. He's saying, "Osama lama duma lama." You assuming I'm a human?
No,
what I
he's
gotta do to
actually
get it through to you? I'm
saying
superhuman,
stuff.
innovative, animated, rubber, whatever you see. Ricochet off me and glue to you. I'm devastating, more never demonstrating how to give a motherfucking audience. I'm feeling like it's levitating, never fading, and I know the haters are forever waiting for the day they say I fell off. They be celebrating because I know where to get them motivated. I make elevating music, make elevator music. Boom. No one ever did that before, ever.
And I was like, and that's why I was like, I liked Rap God, but then I just see people trying to like just copy that. It's like, you don't have to do what he was doing.
I think he did that to say, I'm legit. You know, because people for years say he's not legit, and he's like, all right, maybe I'm not, but you try this, you know.
Yeah.
And then he's
it's not even just the fast rap he does. Because he also does like he does so much wordplay in there. It's
his
like because the guy can rap orange for goodness sake.
Yeah. The way he turns a
Like,
phrase, the way
he knows how to.
He's a master poet, first of all.
Yes.
And that's you know, that sets him above most of them.
Exactly.
And it's like
you got to have something that it's not just words; it also has deep meaning and is still in this meter. You know.
No, what I'll say for like something that stands on its own, cipher raps. I do like that.
I don't know what cipher rap is.
Those are pretty good.
It's like, okay, so there's a guy
collaboration of other rappers.
Yeah, it's like that, but they use like for one. There's a guy known as Daddy Fat Snaps. He does like anime. Like he raps about like anime and stuff, and it's actually like he did a cell rap, and I'm like, oh, this is actually like pretty like on like fire. This is like really good, and I'm
There's
like,
a lot of Dragon Ball references in rap.
because no, honestly, I'll say this, because it relates to African Americans. I will say that it relates to Black people. I will like for one,
Well, it definitely relates to athletes.
it relates to athletes, but I will say this: it relates a lot to I will say Black people because one, I do relate to that because I am mixed because most people always don't know. Yes, I like this is usually how people like, oh, you're half Black, and I'm like, yeah, it's like some people say I'm Jewish, and I'm like, I don't see where people get that. But no, I relate to it just because if you look at Dragon Ball Z's history, when they talk about the Saiyan race,
Yeah.
like an oppressed civilization trying to like pretty much like get out there, and then what happens, they get destroyed, their planet and lives get destroyed. There's only a few number, and they just tried, and they're not only that, they're trying to pretty much gain like something, like trying to show what their worth is. And then when you get to like the Namek saga, I'm gonna be honest, it had to suck for Krillin for that. Hate that fact. I was like, I'm gonna be honest, I was sad when I saw Krillin down. I was like, oh snap. I was like, no, because Goku, my favorites, Goku, Krillin, and Gohan, and Piccolo. Just those four. When I saw
Vegeta?
I'm not a big on Vegeta fan. I was like,
I love Vegeta. That's my favorite.
it's like I love the voice actor for Vegeta, but it's just
Yeah.
like I'm not big on Vegeta just because he's just got such a one track. Like first off, Goku and Vegeta are just obviously both the same thing. They both got one track mind.
Mhm.
Obviously, I will never say Goku is a hero though. Never have said Goku is like, oh, he's a genuine hero. No, he is the furthest thing from that, considering the fact of what he did in Super. And it's like you just made a bet on the very fact you wanted to fight stronger people, but you were willing enough to put an entire universe on it without full consent and tried to hide that.
Yeah, and that might have been a story mistake there. That doesn't seem like the character we've seen for 20 years.
It's like I've seen Goku. He will fight. He will usually fight for his friends.
Not only that, he usually is considerate of the weakness of people around him.
Yeah.
Like even that episode where Krillin asked him to punch him as hard as possible, he was like, "What? You don't want me to do that?" You know? He was like, "No." And then Krillin insisted, and then he punched him. But so there is a consideration there. So it seems a little out of character that he would risk an entire universe when he would hesitate to punch his friend who was asking him to do it.
It's like you didn't hesitate. You didn't think that. You just were like, "Let's do it." And it's like, wait. And it's like you didn't even fear for the very fact that, oh, your universe would be destroyed. You heard this, still accepted this. Instead, you had the chance to walk away. Hell, it was even given to you to walk away.
What do you think the ultimate path for Goku is going to be? Because I think he's going to be a destroyer god.
See, either he's going to be destroyer or Vegeta is. That's what I'm saying. Just because the reason why I say Vegeta is because Vegeta is always like he has time and time again, like besides in Super, like but like during the Buu saga, he was willing to fall down. He was to gain power. He was willing to go back to being pure evil, and just and it's like I see him doing this for becoming a destroyer god, and it's like he would do
in a way. I think I see what you're saying because like Whis and Beerus, they're kind of like enlightened versions of Vegeta and Goku.
And Whis is looking at Goku. He's like, okay, I see Goku.
Yeah.
Because, in all honesty, because
once Goku ascends to his enlightened state of mind, he would be a lot like Whis. It's like, oh, we don't need to cause trouble, but we can if we need to, you know. Whereas Beerus is like, you know, I'm not going to destroy you unless you really piss me off. And that would be Vegeta.
That's saying God.
Yeah. That's saying God. Yeah.
It's like, little short pint. What's your name? It's Chris Krillin. It's just Krillin. You don't have to call me. You don't have to make fun of him. I love the fact he just makes fun of Krillin. Like everyone makes fun of Krillin's size. It's like, look, you can make fun of Krillin every day of the week, but here's the thing. Look at his wife. I mean,
well, not only that, look at him as
he's a great dad. I will say that.
As a human being, the humans compared to the other species are just weak. You know, and that he can actually ascend to the level he's ascended to. I mean, in Super, he defeats somebody who defeats Android 18.
Exactly.
And Android 18 can mop the floor with Super Saiyan 1. So now you've got a human who essentially, through skill and power, has made himself a Super Saiyan 1 at the very least.
And then
I don't know what his power levels are now. It's hard to power scale that show, because it's a little inconsistent in places, but they definitely think he's at Planet Buster level for sure.
I don't think Krillin. I don't think Krillin could do. Well, he probably could destroy a planet if he tried.
Maybe a moon buster.
Yeah, I would say definitely a moon. I don't know about a planet. Like,
but everybody gives like Bardock like all the attention, you know, as a tough guy. I'm like, Krillin could mop the floor with Bardock. There would no problem, especially
even going Super Saiyan, like.
Yeah, even if he was Super Saiyan, I think he could go toe to toe with him. You know,
because
his skill level is amazing off the charts.
Because you got to think, Bardock couldn't be Frieza, but turned Super Saiyan. But even if that were the case, that's still like, it's like saying that's Goku at Kaioken.
Yeah. Well, and
like,
Krillin was the one who got first blood on Frieza that no one in the universe had. He cut off his tail.
Yes.
No one had to put a scratch on this guy, and he put some major freaking damage on him.
Like, I'm gonna be honest. Why didn't Krillin get hit with the Kienzan? Come on, like every time. It's like solar flare Kienzan. You got this.
Yeah, that's the easiest way. That would make the series so much shorter.
And then everyone just starts
solar flare, destructo disc. Solar flare, destructo disc. Solar flare, destructo disc.
It's
wiped out. Just done. That's the end of all the villains.
You know, I also never understood why he just
except Cell. I think
Cell
was
he couldn't do
to the solar disc. The disc.
The
solar disc. Solar disc.
Solar disc.
Ginsen.
You know what? That would actually be a cool move, though. Yeah. That would actually be a cool move. But
maybe he can't. Maybe he has to recharge after a solar flare, right? Has he ever?
No,
he's punched people after solar flares.
He's actually done a beam. He did a beam attack after.
He did a beam attack, so he could probably do it. Yeah, he could probably do Destructo.
He's done.
Although the Destructo disc takes some building up, though.
Yeah, because he's got to do the.
Yeah,
whole...
it takes a second. So I don't think he could actually go flash, and then by the time he got it powered up, they would be.
Well, I don't know how long people stay blinded. I mean, like that's the thing. Like,
it doesn't seem to be very long. It seems to be for at least a minute, maybe.
Well, that's why I say that it's a minute, but then I saw like Cell do it to pretty much him, to 18, 16, Trunks, and Vegeta, and it's like that lasted longer than a minute because they still had their eyes closed and everything. And I was like,
imagine the cold-hearted tone this show would take if he permanently blinded people with it.
I love
my eyes. My eyes.
I was just gonna say, I love how the podcast.
Your eyes are bleeding.
It's like, oh my gosh, he's stronger than Goku now. Wait,
he's like, who wants to be next? Come on.
I was just gonna say,
I see you on the chopping block, Cell.
You like the gift of sight, do ya?
I'm sorry, Shelly. What's up?
I love how the podcast has turned into you two geeking out.
Yeah, it's literally been YouTube. It's just been like, oh my god, did you see this thing happen? Dragon Ball Z.
Wait, are we live right now, or are we recording?
We are still recording.
No, we're recording.
Okay,
good,
but
like,
you're gonna need some editing, I think, or you.
It's like good luck with that, Rip.
How's it going, guys?
It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good.
Aurora Borealis shining down to Dallas. Can you picture that?
There we go.
Do you want to know?
What is that horrible thing behind you? I'm sorry, Shelly. Sorry, Shelly. Hold on. What is that horrible thing behind you, good sir? What is
Now,
that?
what
That is your attitude for interrupting the adorable Shelly. I was looking for
Yeah,
that.
No, I'm not.
Oh, Shelly.
Shut
Hold
your
on, I
mouth.
got this. Like,
Yeah, so there's a
Shelly.
so Sonny, there's a pretty much there's a,
No, there
a little
isn't.
running gag.
No, there
It
isn't.
came. It's from Honeycast with Ashley. Everyone always kept saying I don't know who started it first, but it was like an O trend. Pretty much everyone would be like, "Oh, Ashley," or "Oh, whoever," and pretty much now it's made its way to "Oh, Shelly."
Oh, Shelly.
the lovely city of San Fran.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay in San Fran for a while
I hate all of
because
it.
I was talking about if I could go back any period, I'd go back to San Francisco and hate Ashbury.
Yeah. I can't put that one. That's a no picture.
Also, Shelly, why are you hiding your face?
Because you said something false about me.
That
What,
you're
that
adorable. That is not. That's facts. I can show you these facts. I can screen share if I have to.
We should adorable every vote.
Adorable. Hand
Adorable.
raised. Hands
Adorable.
raised.
Adorable.
Adorable.
Even Fluttershy, I agree. She's got her little like paw in the air right now.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna put two hands up for this. Put my hands on that Bible. Shelly is adorable. I don't have a Bible, but I got Cade. You know what? Hold on. I got something better. Hold on. Let me find here. He is. I put on the hashtag Cash Money Llama.
On the lap.
Oh, I got something.
All right, now that he's gone, let's start trash talking him.
It's like, I hear that. You know what? I'm gonna tell him he needs to hit you with that destructive disc.
I'm ready for it.
You know what, Sonny? You need to hit him with a Kamehameha.
Do what?
You need to hit Ripsta with a Kamehameha.
Kame!
Oh no.
Oh God.
Kame!
Oh no.
You got hit with that Kamehameha from Krillin. I got a green old fat llama. That's not. I find it funny because its design was misshapen, and I was like, I need to have this.
That's a good shape
claw,
right there.
run it out of a claw machine, by the way.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, it was the biggest thing. I was like, I want that llama.
My daughter told me she has now learned the secret for the claw machine. Every time she can win. And so she's got tons of stuffed animals because every time she goes to this machine at the mall, she comes back with one.
It's like I just wanted something at the mall. They don't allow me to touch the claw machine anymore.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's a secret to it. I never figured it out.
I think it's just getting good at it. You know, like you develop a skill for it, a touch for it.
Honestly, the only skill I learned was, in all honesty, I love my fact. There's this story my dad tells me every time, because whenever he talks about when we went to Lake Tahoe, and I was like probably 9 years old. I do not remember for the life of me. My dad told me when we went to San Francisco, we went to an arcade, and he says these words. I went on a Street Fighter arcade. He always says it's Street Fighter. He never changes that up. I destroy a guy on Street Fighter, and I'm like 9 years old, and I'm like, Dad, I don't remember this at all. He's like, yeah, you were destroying this guy. It was like, I can remember what you were. He said it was actually Street Fighter versus Capcom, and you were Magneto. And he's like, you were Magneto, and you kept he said you did this move where you kept tossing him up in the air constantly. I'm like, that sounds like me.
I've got a really weird ability. I don't know if I still have it, but when I was waiting tables, I've developed an interesting skill, and I didn't even notice it for a while. But I would get to where I would just grab some napkins, when I saw a table sit down, 8 to 20, doesn't matter. And I would grab the napkins and put out the napkins. And it took a long time before I figured out I'm always just grabbing the exact number of napkins without looking. I would just grab a stack, and it would always be. Now, I'd been waiting tables for 7 years, but it was like it just occurred to me that I had, for probably 2 years at that point, had been grabbing the exact right amount of napkins without thinking. Just reach it over, boom, that's 20, And it's like, I was like, well, of course, I mean, people who card sharks and stuff, they get to where they can read the subtleties of a card. The number of napkins should be, something easily your subconscious would click onto. But I wonder if a lot of waiters go through that and don't even notice it.
This is where I start to fan up. Who was your favorite ventriloquist?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good question.
It's a good one. There's
probably,
a lot of great ones.
I almost want to say Anthony Hopkins. And he did this movie called Magic.
I think one of my favorites.
Did you ever see it? Did you see the movie Magic with Anthony Hopkins? He plays this ventriloquist who goes insane. It is a really good movie. That he believes that the dummy's alive, right? And it's just called Magic.
Anthony Hopkins.
And he spent a good amount of time learning ventriloquy, and he's a natural at it. And they said on the set, he said, did any moments like in the movie happen to you in real life while you're recording it? And he goes, well, yeah, actually he did. He said at one point they did the scene, and then he yelled cut, and they stopped, and everybody started laughing. He goes, why is everybody laughing? He says, because the dummy said cut, not you.
Oh,
and he didn't even notice. The dummy's like, okay, that's a wrap, people. It's like, what?
Oh, whoa. That's crazy. No, I have not seen this. This looks really good though.
You'll love it, man. If you like puppets, you'll just go, this is the perfect scary movie for a person who likes puppets.
What about Dead Silence?
Yeah.
What about Dead Silence? I'm going to be honest.
I think my favorite ventriloquist, old-fashioned, would have to be either Paul Winchell or what was it, Jimmy Nelson. Those two were pretty good. They were really good.
There was a guy also who's a ventriloquist who was on a TV show called Soap. It was Billy Crystal's breakout TV show.
Oh,
and
Jay Johnson, right?
Yes, and his character's name was Chuck on the show, and it was Chuck and Bob. And that's what made me want to be a ventriloquist. When I saw that, I went, "Oh, I want to learn how to do that." And then that's why I named my puppet Bob, because he looked like the same ventriloquist dummy, and he was good. He was solid. But Waylon and Madam, amazing. You see Waylon and Madam?
Oh yeah.
This old lady puppet that this guy does, he based it on his grandmother.
I've seen.
Now, he's not much of a ventriloquist. I would say he's more of a puppeteer, because he doesn't care if his lips move or not, but you totally ignore him and you're all into Madam.
Yeah.
And we started talking about nerd shit before we were recording, because that's who we are.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about good comics. We're talking about, I'm going to be honest, trying still not to be that fanboy, but can't help it just because, I got I'm
a total fanboy too. And I'm, the thing is, I hung out with Leonard Nimoy. It was amazing, right? Leonard Nimoy was a badass. But I was not nervous around Leonard Nimoy. I got nervous around comic book artists, because I just admire what they do so much. I mean, it's a passion of mine, more than anything. And when I meet a comic book artist, I tend to get really tongue-tied, and I can't talk to them. And it's so weird, because I was hanging out with people who are major stars at conventions all the time, and it's just like, oh, this is cool. It's Leonard Nimoy, or Gates McFadden. This is cool, but and I actually had Lou Ferrigno called me a once. That was interesting. We were guests at a con, and we're in a bar afterwards, and there was a guy there who was a guest because he was a martial arts expert. And he's loved Lou Ferrigno, and he's like talking about all these different moves and stuff like this, and like, because he knew Lou Ferrigno had an interest in it, and Lou Ferrigno just reached over and grabs him in a headlock like that, and he goes, "What are you gonna do to make it like that?" He starts squeezing, and the guy was like choking, right? But his face was right next to Lou's, and I said, "Well, he could kiss you on the cheek and you'd let go," and he goes, "Hey, don't be a." You telling me I was like, this is the biggest feather in my hat. Lou Ferrigno called me in a bar, a private party in a bar. I was like, this is amazing. This is the best night of my life.
It's like, dear God, Lou Ferrigno just said that out loud.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
like, he just,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, I wonder how, but he was embarrassed.
No, he
One-
wasn't embarrassed. He was just like,
I
met him again at a convention years later, and I kicked his butt at ping pong, right?
oh,
And I was because I'd been playing a lot of ping pong at the time with my friend Tom at his own ping pong table, and we'd go over there. That's all we did. We just played ping pong for a while. So I'm pretty good at it, and I see him playing somebody else, and I could tell I could beat Lou Ferrigno, but Lou was winning against the guy he was playing. So I said, I want the next game, right?
because isn't
And
Lou
so-
Ferrigno like a major ping pong enthusiast?
No, he's just okay.
Oh, okay.
And I started playing him, and I started beating him, right?
Oh,
And he does this move. He looks over at the bar and goes, "Huh? Oh, yeah, I'll be right there. I gotta go." And he just walks away. There was nobody at the bar. He just walked over there. And I was thinking, well, that makes sense. He's Lou Ferrigno. He's known as being the biggest tough guy ever. He can't be seen me beating him at anything. That would be bad for his rep, you know? But I was like, I kicked your butt. I kicked your butt. Ping pong.
Next thing you know, he'll be like, oh, so it's that guy. just literally sees this.
I
just
guarantee you Lou Ferrigno would never remember me. And I've met him 3 times. The third time I met him, this after meeting him twice, after he called me a and I beat him at ping pong, I saw him at another convention and he thought I was staff. He was asking me, "Oh, how do I get to this panel over here?" And I said, "I don't know. Ask somebody who works here. I'm a guest." He was
It's
like,
like, I'm a guest, dude.
"What?"
It's like, yeah, I'm a guest.
No, he'd never remembered me.
I would have been like, Lou,
He
you
made
don't
a
remember
much better
me.
impact on me than I made on him. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would have been like, Lou, you don't remember me? Like,
You don't remember me?
It's like, you don't remember the first time?
You don't remember?
You don't.
You don't remember the
second
ping pong?
The
You don't
ping
know?
pong.
I think if I was even that specific, I think I said, "Do you remember I was playing you ping pong and you looked over and you pretended there was somebody talking to you at the bar because I was kicking your butt?" He'd be like, "What?"
He'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'd be
man.
completely blocked from his mind.
He'd
That
be like,
meant
I don't
nothing to him, but it meant the world to me.
I have, let's see, famous people I've met. This is actually a good story. I actually met when we went to San Francisco. For some reason we had to take a flight from coming back. We had to take a flight to California. I actually got to see Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I can never pronounce his last name wrong, but I met Arnold and I was like, and I'm gonna be honest, I got to see my dad be the biggest fanboy in my life. He was like, I'm just like, hey Dad, isn't that the Terminator? He's like, what? And he would just look up, he's just talking on his cell phone. He's like, I just look at my dad. He grabs me by the shoulder. I'm like, Dad, you hurt me. He's like,
I never met him, but I saw him and I was a little starstruck. I was working at this place called the West End Marketplace in Dallas, and they had a Planet Hollywood that was opening up, and he's one of the owners of that. So he came by, and I was on the 3rd floor of this flight, and he was on the escalator, and I was just watching this guy go down, and I was just like, it's mind blowing. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
oh, the best part is I think my dad could not talk to him.
Yeah.
9-year-old me walks up, just is like, hey, my dad's a big fan of yours. Can he get an autograph? And my dad's just like, what are you doing? And
Just like the car.
No, my dad, and he just like, sure. He's like, sure. Do you want a picture? And I was just like, my dad has the picture. I really wish I had the picture because he took it. It was with the old cameras still.
Did you have to wind?
Yeah, and my dad just takes that picture. He still has it. I know that he does. Took the picture. My mom took the picture of all 3 of us, and my dad's just like he's like, oh my God, I'm Terminator. Like, Dad, calm down. You're like me, meeting like Like if I met friggin' like Goku or something. And then and then my dad's like, Goku's not real. It's like, that's a lie. If he's real, so is Goku.
Indeed, he is real.
He's real in my heart. It's like, look, Goku's real, Krillin's real, Piccolo's real, and Gohan's real. I'm Gohan. Oh God.
I am indeed Gohan.
Ah!
Shelly's got an adorable little Shelly in the
That aren't-
background.
that are perfect for public domain.
And which Shelly is adorable.
Oh, sound going off.
I don't think I can. I can't.
Bunny. You guys watch,
Oh my
listen
gosh.
to Steam Power Giraffe?
Steam Power Giraffe.
I don't know what that is, in all
That's-
honesty.
Oh God, you guys got to check out Steam Power Giraffe. It's a steampunk band sung by robots, but they're humans pretending to be robots. But it's amazing.
And adding
Steam
that to
Power
the
Giraffe.
list. Adding that. To the
You
list.
got it. You guys. I mean, they're at cons all the time. You got to check them out. They're amazing.
And already stuff that pops up is nothing but memes of Dragon Ball Z or just people using Dragon
Look
Ball
up-
Z as the memes.
Look up Steam Power Giraffe, Honeybee. That's a nice song to start with.
So my real question to you now, Sonny, are you a Dungeons and Dragons fan?
I used to be. Just like I used to be into gaming, but I don't have time for any of it now.
Honestly, I love
Anything that's obsessive, I don't have time to do it, And you have to be obsessive because Dungeons and Dragons, there's so much to be obsessive about in it,
yes.
Just the fucking books alone, the
Oh,
collection. You could collect all these monster manuals and things like that. It's just it's very obsessive.
I mean, like
Maps, my God, you could spend weeks on maps.
that.
Yeah, Player's Handbook,
Players, I got the dungeons. I got
Dungeon
Players
Masters.
Handbook.
Yeah, manual.
I got all of that. I even to this day, I don't know why I still keep it. I have the old story campaign that Gary Gygax made, Tomb of Annihilation. And I
Good?
don't know why I keep it, just because it is the most if all honesty, if I were to say it, Dungeons and Dragon players, adventurers would all say this is a PTSD campaign for sure.
They did a relaunch of Dungeons and Dragons, the new system. They were presenting it at a con I was at, and so they had the box that that's not even in the market yet. And while they were talking, I just sort of snuck on the stage and stole it and ran back. And then, I gave it back to them at the end of the panel. Well, they came up to me at my table and said, we wanted you to have this. So now I've got one of the earliest versions of it packed away somewhere. I haven't played it.
Oh my
I haven't even opened it.
gosh.
But it's probably worth something,
Oh, I'm going to be honest with you. If you were to sell that right now, you could probably get maybe like 20 grand.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I think I'd
maybe
rather have
more.
it.
I'm going to be honest. You could get
It's
more
got to
from
stay
it,
in my.
but keep that. Keep it. I honestly, it is a treasure trove of
Definitely one of my trophies,
Hmm.
I'm going to
like
be honest.
Batman's giant penny in the Batcave.
Or his T-Rex. Or the T-Rex. Never understood the T-Rex
Oh,
one.
the T-Rex, yeah. What is the T-Rex from? I've never seen the comic.
There
must
was
have been
none.
in.
There was
Must-
no comic to it. There was no comic. I
Never
found out-
happened. It's just some weird adventure that we never hear about.
Yep.
That's
just a
pretty
weird,
cool, actually.
Because the penny is from Two-Face, I believe, or it was either Two-Face or Joker, but the T-Rex was nothing, which disappointed me. I was like, that's a
crazy.
story right there.
It's probably what is it? Is it a robot? Or is it just a statue?
Or did like some
And
magic
why
bring it
would
to
you
life?
haul that thing all the way to the Batcave? That's a lot of work.
That is the real question. It's like he hauled this thing to the Batcave. And
He didn't. We couldn't have put it on the Batmobile. It's too big. He had to get a
he had
truck.
he had
to
a
move that
Batwing.
thing.
He did have the Batwing, the flying one. Could have just
Maybe
like
he's got a Batmac truck.
what doesn't he
Batmac
have?
truck.
What doesn't Batman
Yeah.
have? It's like
As a bat crane on the back and
I
lift
got
stuff up
shark
and put it in
I
the
got
cab.
shark repellent.
Yeah, if he's got shark repellent. He could bring a statue home. But if it was a robot, maybe it attacked him in the Batcave.
Probably.
Maybe it found out where he was and he subdued it, and then shut it down and left it in there. It's like, it looks good there in that corner.
And it's mine forever.
This is the Batcave is huge. You got it when you're decorating it. It's gonna take. You got to have a lot of things, right?
Let's see otherwise
you're just gonna have too much empty space.
How many people know about the Batcave? We got all the Justice League now. We got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You got.
Most of his villains have been in there once.
Yeah, but they never.
Superman knows.
Yep, Superman knows, but he now used to know actually.
Superman knew before any of the Justice League. Yeah.
Actually, he used to know, but because Batman moved it. Yeah, he made a new cave, but this time he's like, I want copper lining so that Superman can't see at all. And I'm like,
lead lining.
It's like, lead lining, and he's like, how? It's like, Master Wayne, how do you expect to make an entire cave with lead lining? Simple. We're just gonna hire a bunch of people, make an entire cave. It's like, Master Wayne, do you understand you're asking a bunch of people that
to know the location
of a lead line cave? It's like, Alfred, I don't understand. Like, what is so hard about this?
What's the problem? I just pay him to do it, right?
It's like, I'm a billionaire. I make money. It's like, who's gonna really question why I have a lead line cave below my mansion? First off, who's gonna believe anybody? Who's gonna believe that?
I think you paid them. Huh? That's funny.
It's like you can't argue. It's like, who would believe that?
What he doesn't need to do the cave. What he needs to do is the ground that covers the cave. And he could say, I'm doing some experiments with lead and solar rays and stuff, and I just want you to cover this part of the lawn with lead. And then put topsoil on top of the lead. But just a sheet of lead on there. As long as it's above the cave, Superman will never see it.
Yep.
Although Superman, I think, could figure it out.
It's like, why?
It's like he can hear a pin drop from space.
Also,
all
the very fact of,
like, let me focus in on his
house.
Okay, I found Bruce. I know his breathing. Okay, now he's going to this location.
I can't see underneath his house,
and I can't see under the ground, so that must be the cave.
And it's like, Bruce, you practically made this.
You wasted a lot of your money.
You practically made this freaking shield panel of lead, pretty much right underneath your house. Did you think I wasn't going to?
It's a good thing he doesn't have any heirs because he wastes money so badly.
Oh no, he does.
Well, no, is Robin his heir?
One of he has three. He has three. Well,
yeah, and
Jason.
Dick Grayson is his ward, so I guess he would be an heir.
Dick is his ward. Jason Todd was his.
I don't think he was a ward, was he?
He was going to be. But things happened. Then there was
Tim. Tim has a father.
And then, Tim had a father. Oh, Kitty. And and then oh, that's right. Damien,
his son.
Yeah,
definitely an heir.
I have to say, very bad of how the fact that he came to be because
of Talia.
Yeah, Talia. It's like, oh, we shared one night of passion. It's like, first off, you drugged me. I don't remember half of that. So
yeah, but he manned up. He's like, okay, I'll own it.
It's like, I'll own it, but I'll own the situation. I have a son, but it's like, don't say we had a very passionate night, but I can't remember that night.
Yeah,
it's like, if we had a passionate night, I would remember it, but for the life of me, I can't.
I was gonna say, we probably might have to come to the end of the podcast now because we've probably the longest episode we've had, actually.
Oh man,
is it really?
Yeah.
Oh man, this has actually gone on. Yeah, we've gone on to the longest point of this podcast.
Well, I've got a date in Orion anyway, so I'm gonna see you guys later.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with Shenron and Goku.
So I don't know what we're doing next time, but I don't know, we might talk PSAs maybe, I don't know, like I said we were going to do at some point.
Oh, that's right, we were supposed to do PSAs.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
Well, you didn't? Okay.
Well, and this time I won't be such a fanboy.
I don't think you were such a fanboy this time.
I don't know.
Matter of fact, you could have done a little more praising, I think.
I mean,
I could have been like, "Oh my God, it's the shiny!"
You could have done a little more groveling. I think you didn't show enough respect.
Like, Krillin,
for the
please,
office.
Krillin, please hit me with the solar flare.
You don't understand protocol when you meet a famous voice actor. You're supposed to grovel.
It's like, I'm not
Bow
worthy.
3 times. We're
What?
not worthy. We're not worthy.
I'm not worthy. I'm not
Yeah.
worthy.
There is one last question I will ask before we do actually sign off the podcast. Would you consider, because you're honestly one of the most lively guests we've had, but would you consider coming back one time?
Coming back to do this again?
Yeah.
No, God, no. Of course. I had a great time.
You heard it here, folks. Wow, I messed that up so bad. Dictator himself, Sonny Strait.
Also, it's like this, and like when I teach classes, is the only socializing I've done. You know, is interviews in class. You know,
These are honestly great.
yeah.
We have fun.
Also, I
with
just
these.
love the fact that my name. We have Donald Dictator, Furry Pro, and it's so many furries.
And then we have Michelle.
And Michelle,
And
with the
Michelle.
adorable kitty in the background eating it.
furry, Donald Duck, and Michelle.
Alrighty.
Well,
Shelly.
guys, thank you so much for having me on.
It was,
that was
great.
fun.
Hey, thank you for being here. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I had a great time. Just talking crap,
Talking crap,
Yeah.
shooting the
shooting the poo poo.
shooting the poo poo.
Floating away in space, all the kind of usual stuff.
But
Yeah.
thanks everybody for tuning in. I know this wasn't live and it's different, but there you go. Difference makes people happy. But we will see you at the same day in 2 weeks. So bye-bye, everybody.
Live
Bye,
long
guys.
and suck it.
Thanks for having me on.
Bye.
Bye.